Welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast.
Friends and family, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast. But before you introduce him,
Yes.
Victor, can you do us the honors of saying what I just said in Portuguese? Friends and family, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Late Night with Chalky podcast. Say that in Portuguese.
Amigos e amigas, família, todo mundo aí, bem-vindo ao Late Night with Chalky. E é isso, vamos nessa.
Well, the cat's already out of the bag, but you know, our guest this week is a very talented pro surfer from Brazil.
First Brazilian.
Wait, yeah. Like most young surfers that are striving to make the tour, this guy was no different, spent many years competing in a jersey. And when the results didn't come, he went against all traditional Brazilian pro surfer model and turned towards free surfing, which is crazy to do considering that there's very few making a living at it, especially from Brazil. But if you've seen him surf, it makes perfect sense. His smooth style, his power, his flow, combined with his air game and high performance approach is very pleasing to the eye. We welcome the #1 Brazilian free surfer in the world, Mr.
Numero
Victor
uno.
VB Bernardo. Woo! Yeah, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good. It's an
Don't know
honor
about
and privilege.
number
And
one,
before
but thank you.
Before we get into it, we want to thank the guy that brought you to our attention and made this interview happen. The co-founder of Clear Weather Brand Footwear, Josh and Brandon Brubaker. But today we have Brandon only.
We only got one of the two.
Thanks, Brando.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's explain why you're here. It's because, you know,
We're kind of letting the cat out of the bag.
right off the bat,
Yeah.
let's do it. We'll talk about it later.
That wasn't really the plan.
It wasn't the plan, but you weren't gonna announce it.
We're announcing it like this week. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh,
this
good.
week.
Yeah.
Okay, well this
It's all good. It doesn't matter.
this episode doesn't launch till next week.
Oh, then shit, it'll be on by
Yeah,
then.
that's perfect. So the Clearweather brand is picking up Victor VB Bernardo.
Yeah. Victor is gonna surf for Clear Weather. So
Yeah.
we're super pumped.
Congratulations.
He's gonna be our only pro surfer. The way that we're really looking at it is we're really building like into like our culture that we're from now, where it's like before we were definitely going like full sneaker culture, and you know, if anybody knows anything about me and my brother's past, it's like we come from skateboarding and surf backgrounds, and we just kind of felt like we needed to make a big switch, and Victor's going to be a part of leading the charge on the surf switch.
Nice.
Skate's always been there, but surfing for me is like close to me. So I was like, all right, if we're going to really push skate, we're going to push surf too.
Yeah.
So, and Victor's
And-
surfing like kind of says it all.
And
Why
we've
he
talked
did it.
about it before. Your history, your passion, your successes have come from action sports industry. So
100%.
why not, you
Why
know,
not like
accentuate-
just fold the whole company into that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, those that missed the Brubaker episode, it's
I forget what episode.
It's
but
episode-
we'll remind everybody later.
yeah, we'll post
I know
it.
it's one. It just
Episode 151.
Yeah. Should have had that kid, London. You're blowing it.
I know. Sorry, I didn't come prepared.
All
but
right.
the show's not about Brandon Brubaker.
Nope. It's
Or
about
Clear
VB.
Weather. This is about VB. Okay, VB. And before we go, let's just talk about all your sponsors right now, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
And you just won the last. Is it the last one?
The last
At the
one.
series?
Yeah.
Or
The last of the series.
The last one of the series, yeah.
So you just won the last event that happened this past weekend, yesterday, right?
Yeah.
wait, he still wins, and I got to clear that back out and redo this intro.
Congratulations, brother. The San Diego is it
AM Slam.
AM Slam.
Yeah.
Awesome. Where was it at? Oceanside
It
or
was Mission Beach.
Mission Beach?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a fun wave.
Yeah,
How-
it's
how
fun
was
when
it?
when it's good.
Yeah.
It was grindy, just like super windy and low tide.
Yeah.
But I managed to like find a couple little ones and took the whole thing. It was pretty sick.
Nice. Who was all in the final?
It was me, Lucas, this Venezuelan guy. I always forget his name, but he rips. He was like doing crazy things.
Yeah.
And,
Not crazy enough though, bro.
Kyan.
Yang?
Yeah, Kyan.
Yeah,
His backside turns are insane.
dude.
The-
That's a stacked final right
Yeah,
there.
stacked final, and now you're the third guy from that heat that has been on the show. Because we had Lucas on and we had Kyan on.
Sick.
Now we have VB on, dude.
Bunch of rippers.
So tell us, okay, you ride album,
I ride for album.
Nice.
Yeah, album surfboards.
Caden.
and then
Caton. Then June Shine.
nice.
Powder Electric. Clear Weather.
Clear weather. All right, let's start at the beginning. Where did VB find surfing?
Oh, I ride for Fuwax and Farrell.
Oh, sick.
Just like
Yeah, don't
Right.
forget him out. I'm short. The other guy has a
I
laundry
thought we were
list.
done with that. Sorry. Okay, so pedal electric, VB,
no, that was all. That was
Farrell.
Farrell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuwax.
Fuwax.
You know they
of
sponsor our
course.
podcast too.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Best wax ever.
The
Yes,
ickiest,
wax ever.
stickiest.
No, so I've heard. Where's my wax?
Yeah, you owe me a bag right now.
Oh really?
Thanks,
Okay,
Will.
so
Thanks, Wilsey.
did we get all the sponsors on the table?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, let's take us back to where it all began.
Yeah, where'd you grow up?
Well, I grew up in a Thai community back in Guarujá, São Paulo. Back then, my dad didn't really have much money. Still doesn't, but it's not the case. He worked his ass off to get my first surfboard when I was 6, but I started surfing when I was 4. So nowadays I see these kids all like with tiny surfboards, perfect. Like I'm like, dude, imagine. I wish I had that.
Yeah.
I was like,
How much you would have progressed at an early age having the right size board?
Well, I don't know about that, but it would have been sick. You know?
Yeah.
But well, I had my first surfboard early, like when I was 6, but
What size was
before
it? Like,
then it was a 4.7.
4.7. Oh, that's good, man.
Can you?
Before that, I was like, well, just riding my dad's board, longboard, and like just going on whatever we had at the house.
So is your family? Is it? Are you from a poor family, middle class? Like
Poor family.
yeah, because the Brazil's their culture is a lot different from us,
Mhm.
and the middle class is pretty small, right? So it's
Yeah.
more like if you're really wealthy, and then more poor people, right?
Mhm.
But there's way more.
Yeah.
So you learned how to surf at 4 years old, or started at 4?
Yeah, I started
Wow.
before my dad and my whole family surf. So my dad, my brother, uncle, cousin. Really thankful for them for showing me this sport that changed my life and my family's life
Yeah.
pretty much. And yeah,
Was there a lot of surfers when you were?
yeah, there were a few surfers, a few really good that didn't really make it. Like a couple are in prison or dead. So
Yeah.
I'm really thankful that I got to progress and get to where I'm at today. And yeah, my best friends are. I mean, I just put it this way. I used to live somewhere that you could go both ways.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But my dad was really on point and really like a general to me.
Strict.
Really strict, exactly. And
Kind of what you need in certain parts of the world. You need to have a strict parent
yeah,
to
of course.
keep you on the straight and narrow.
So he kept me in line, and I'm here not today because of him, and super thankful for that.
Yeah. What did your dad do for work?
He's a painter.
Okay.
Like, up to this day. He pretty much does everything in the house that you need, but majorly a painter.
Yeah.
He's insane at what he does.
Yeah.
But in Brazil, they don't really get that much prop for that, which sucks. But yeah, he's still doing what he likes to do and surfing on weekends. I had the pleasure to present him 2 boards from album
Nice.
that I bought and gave it to him, and it was really nice to have him smile and
Yeah.
cry towards
You got two treasures.
join us.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty sick.
So what was your dad surfed and your brother's older than you
My
or
brother is 8 years older than me.
okay. Wow, big gap.
Yeah, and my sister is 8 years old, younger than me, so I'm in the middle.
Huge gaps.
Yeah.
huge.
Kind of like yours.
Yeah, I got three, and they're really 11 years from the oldest to the youngest difference.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, how close were you to the beach? Like, did you have to bike, or could you walk, or did you have to get a ride?
we would walk like maybe like 12 blocks, 10 blocks.
So not too far, but
Not too bad, but yeah, I started with my whole family just going every weekend to the beach and stuff. And then at some point I just started going with my friends that I grew up with, and I was just walking with them. And like back then there were a bunch of like open land, like
fields like open.
yeah, in between houses and stuff, and there were trees that we would stop and pick up, like guava or like coconuts and other fruits, because Brazil is pretty tropical and
Yeah.
super
Warm
full of-
waters.
Yeah, warm waters.
And what city? What town?
Guarujá,
Okay.
Guarujá. Enseada is the beach that I'm talking about, the beach that I grew up in.
Yep.
Started surfing, and then
Was the surf scene pretty big?
it was
Any
Surf
like,
shops and stuff.
surf shops, contests. Yeah.
what local surf shops were they?
First DP is one of the main ones that was in my town.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. And then at the town is really small, but there are so many like beach differences and different waves. So when I was like about 7, 8 years old, I started surfing at Maluf a lot, which is actually where they had one of the biggest contests of Brazil. The one that it's like up on the corner, and it's called Malufi.
Is it like a wedge?
Well, kind of like
Right?
a wedge, right? Yeah, to the left, and an island in the middle, like
Yeah.
a bunch of buildings. I bet if you look it up, you can see like the surf scene, and a bunch of older surfers back then went there. Like I spoke to a bunch of them, and they were like, "Yeah, Guarujá, I've been there. It's dangerous." And stuff.
Yeah. How is it like getting like to and from the beach with your boards? Like you didn't have to worry about your boards getting stolen, or you were with a good group of guys.
Well, I was from the ghetto, from
Yeah.
the favela, so
you're well known.
I never got robbed or anything. I was very well known by my dad, and
The
and
crew.
everybody. So that never happened to me, but it gets pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
And so I started surfing on Malufi, and Malufi, Alcino Pirata, has a surf school there, and he used to ride for Hang Loose, which was my first sponsor through him. That he told Paulo Kijo she was the surf manager for Hang Loose and team manager for Hang Loose.
That was
And-
your first sponsor?
yeah, my first sponsor happened when I was like 8 years old, about to turn 9.
Wow, young.
So yeah, Alcino Pirata made that connection, and then I was like, a dream came true to me, because I used to like watch Fabio Gouveia a lot, and Fabio was he's still huge, but back then he was like even bigger.
Tom Curran of Brazil,
Tom
man,
Curran
Mr.
of
Smooth,
Brazil,
dude.
exactly.
He is the
Yeah.
man.
He drops that back knee and has a
Yeah.
sick style. So I watched him my whole life, and
Fabio Gouveia.
Yeah.
Fabio Gouveia.
Yeah. So what other pros from your area have come from your area? Is there other?
Adriano?
Oh, D'Souza.
Yeah, this is
Nice.
from Guarujá. Jesse Mendes. Kai was from São Paulo, but he lives in Guarujá since he was super young. And Edgar Graja, which is like killing it on the QS. He used to. We actually grew up surfing together and against each other. So right before I signed up with Hinglos, he signed up with Oakley back then, and then I was like, I want to sponsor, and then just a couple months later, I signed up with Hinglos, which I stayed with for like 12 years, I think.
Wow. Is Hangless a big brand in Brazil?
Yeah, it's huge.
Still.
Yeah. It's huge.
Wow.
And what was there like a sponsor at 9 get? Like, hey, stickers, a couple board shorts, a couple t-shirts, like
I was actually getting
some money?
some money
contest?
already. Yes.
Damn.
Some stickers and clothes. I was just they were paying for like
Contest.
Contest
entries and stuff.
So
And-
contest was a big thing already.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. My first contest I did, I was 6 years old. The waves were big and stormy, and it was at Praia do Tombo, and it has a lot of currents and stuff. And I had a really bad wipeout, and I went in. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Then my coach back then was Ademir, and he was like, no, go back, please, just try again and stuff. And I did it, and I ended up losing. Then I just kept surfing
Yeah.
every day. And
That's kind of surprising to hear. You're already getting sponsored so young and having a coach already.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, he was helping a lot with my positioning and turns and all of that. And yeah, saying it all like this, it seems like it was super long ago, but
Yeah.
it was actually not.
Yeah.
It was like 2003, 2000.
Was your
Yeah.
coach
So
helping
young.
like a group of kids, or was it one-on-one, or were you going with like a bunch of other kids?
So every Tuesday, Thursday, he would have a lot of people, like a lot of groms and a couple older guys that were doing good already. And he would send us in the water and just watch us and film and just correct things and stuff.
So he
That
was
was-
filming too.
Yeah, that was my very first coach. And then when I signed with Hang Loose when I was 8 to 9 years old, I started doing this almost the same thing, but a smaller group. It was me, Jesse Mendez, Junior Faria, his brother, Kyle Faria, which were insane surfers back then. Still is. Junior, I bet you know him. Junior Faria has a sick style, one of the sickest style of Brazil too. And he was me, Jesse, his brother Victor Mendes, and then Ian Gouveia would do it sometimes because he lived down south. But we would like all get together every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I think.
Wow.
That's when we started doing it, and Paulo Kid would film and take us to the judging tower that is permanently at Tombo, and we had a TV there, and he would replay the videos of us and correct things, and that's actually how I got a lot better. Of course, I mean, or just watching your clips back to back helps a lot. And then I had a really young style. My arm was like up here, and I didn't like it at all. And my coach would always say that I had a arm like a bird, you know, like a
Broken
bird,
wing?
Yeah, a broken wing on it. It was really funny. But yeah, he killed it with coaching. He still does, and I'm really thankful for all he did. And
It's funny when you mentioned video. We just had this guy Ryan Carlson, and he's like an incredible surfer, aerial. He's like, yeah, you know, he goes, when you first started filming, you know, you're stoked to watch yourself, but you think you surf better than you really do.
yeah,
And the video shows it.
Yeah, I hit that wave so hard, and you're like,
The
I
video
did
shows
such
it
Like,
all.
yeah,
holy
it never
crap,
lets
I
it
surf
go.
like shit.
Yeah.
Well, you always think you did the craziest turn, and then
Yeah.
you see the clip, you're like, oh.
I got so much air just that fins pop out.
So
It's
You
bad
must
and
have-
good at the same time.
you must have shown talent pretty early to get sponsored so quickly.
Well, it was me and a couple other guys that were doing it, surfing the way we did and stuff. Like I said, Edgar Garage is killing it, and we used to surf head-to-head a lot. We had a bunch of heats that were like, we were just battling against each other. But there were so many other talents too that didn't end up doing the whole QS or the whole
Yeah.
surf scene.
It's a trip because Brazil, right, has the Brazilian storm.
Mhm.
Like you guys, your country,
Produces so many good surfers.
yeah, and it's kind of new, not new but newer because it's always been Americans, it's always been
Yeah,
Australians,
yeah.
right, that were dominating, and then sometimes South Africa would, you'd see a lot come out from South Africa, but then all of a sudden, what, 10, 15 years ago,
It was kind of like the late '90s. Like there was
'Cause-
a lot on tour, like going.
yeah.
Like
Well,
a big push.
you brought it up, like Fabio. It was Fabio Gouveia.
Teco Padarats, Nico
Yeah.
Padarats,
Yeah, not too many.
Paulo
Renan Ro-
Matos,
Yeah. Mateus Hurdy's dad.
Paulo Kidd actually.
Yeah.
Paulo Kidd is my coach. He used to go crazy too. He was a really good surfer. Still
Mhm.
is, but he used to longboard and then he started shortboarding.
Yeah.
His style is super sick and stuff.
But the amount of like
Talent.
contests, well, like the amount of money that Brazil and the companies would invest was like as strong, if not stronger, than America. Like in
Yeah.
the '90s, like there was contests.
Yeah, he
You know?
was a huge part of the scene already and stuff.
Yeah, and going back to your videoing and coaching, it's like, yeah, you get to work on your style. You got somebody pointing out, your broken wing or whatever. But when you're out surfing with your buddies, your peers, and you're going back, it's almost like a heat every time you surf because you want to come back and claim you got the best turn or the best wave of like every session. Like, oh, that was, dude,
Yeah.
you didn't do that, and then they create crazy rivalries.
So
Yeah, besides that, you get to watch their surfing and take
Yeah,
things from their
you're like, well,
surfing
you did
and
that,
stuff,
I didn't
yeah.
see you do that.
And then you get to go back and try it out and do the same thing and stuff.
Yeah, the
but
push.
there are so many talents, and I grew up just being a psyched surfer, just to like surf with other people and watch them. There were so many good talents back then.
yeah, that like Brazil and San Clemente
What's that?
produced the most
Dude, yeah.
like world-renowned
North
surfers
Shore.
right now. North Shore too, but I mean, it seems like Brazil and San Clemente are the ones that are
Yeah.
producing the most like high-level, world-class surfers.
That and Oahu for sure. Or
Yeah.
Hawaii in general, but
Yeah.
it's such,
Yeah.
you could just group it all together because there's so many other guys there.
So, what boards were you first? Who's your first board sponsor?
So my very first board, actually, my dad bought me. It was Big Wave, the name of the brand,
It was Big Wave.
Big Wave. And then right before I signed with English, I was riding for Hard Wave.
Big
Just
wave,
like-
hard wave.
It's like Japan. They have the funniest names for companies.
Yeah.
So Big Wave to Hard Wave.
Hard
Easy to
Wave.
remember.
And Hard Wave used to shape for Adriano, so he had a couple boards that he made for Adriano back then. It was like just 411s, 5-1 and stuff. And I got to surf with Adriano's boards all stickered up and stuff, which was pretty sick. It's something that I'll never forget
Yeah.
because Adriano was huge already and just was always a big fan, and he inspired me a lot.
Mm.
Up to today, he's still like, I get to talk to him because I actually rent his house because he has a couple properties in Brazil, and so I want to get to that part, but I started surfing for Hard Wave, and then a little after that, not too long, maybe like 2 years, I started surfing for TBC, Thiago Bastos Cunha, which is a sick board too from Rio. He would shape the boards, and every, I don't know, like 3 months, we would get like 2 boards or 3 boards. He would ship it to my place, and then I would see like this big truck coming up my street, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen new boards. It was pretty funny. Then after that, when I was about 11 years old, I moved out of the favela with my family, which actually my sponsor, they were paying for the rent and stuff.
That's
So
so
yeah, I moved my family out of
Hang loose.
Hang loose, yeah.
paid for you guys to move out of the favela.
Yeah.
That's
At
crazy.
11
That's
years
ridiculous.
old. Yeah. So I started living closer to the beach, the main Bass Beach out of Guarujá, in my view. And my coach used to live that, the same neighborhood and stuff, and Jesse Mendes and his brother and all of them. So it became easier to surf like more often instead of only going to surf once a day.
What was your school schedule like? Was it 5 days, 6 days a week?
So that's another funny part. In Brazil, we had the contests that were for the school.
Mm-hmm.
The school contests.
Yes.
And I got a 100% free at a really nice school, which is Adélia Camargo Correa, and then they had Dom Domenico and all the other.
So it was
schools.
popular to compete, so they would recruit.
Yeah, each school would have a team, a surf team.
Yeah.
So they recruited me, and I had from the 4th grade until I finished.
So even the schools are that heavy into surfing.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
No.
That's kind of rad.
I was waiting for him to say like, dude, we didn't go to school.
Yeah.
We just surfed all day. Yeah, that's
No,
what I was expecting.
I did. At some point, and then in Brazil we can choose morning, afternoon, or night period when you're above 12th grade, I think.
Mm.
So at some point in my life, I was going to school in the afternoon because the waves were bad in the morning.
Yeah.
So it was pretty funny because you can choose the times of the day to go to school. So I chose in the afternoon, and that made a huge difference because I would surf all morning, go to school in the afternoon, and then at some point I started going to school at night. But then in the very end of my schooling period, I started traveling a lot, and then I would do a lot of homework and travel studies, and sometimes I would go home for like a short period in between contests, and I would go to school, and the teacher would be like, "Who are you? You're new." I'm like, "No, you're new. You just got here not too long ago." And I was the tourist in school.
What?
Like in the very end of maybe like the 2 last years and stuff.
So how many schools were there to choose from?
So Adélia, Dom Domenico, Ieda,
And they all had surf teams.
maybe like four schools.
Damn.
They all had surf teams it's pretty funny.
Why would they give like your options for morning, afternoon, or night? Is this because kids had to like work?
No, it's
or just
natural. It's
natural?
Yeah,
They just-
Brazil is
that's
that's how it works. You can choose morning or afternoon
Yeah.
before a certain age, and then once you get to like 16, I think,
Yeah.
or it's the 3 last years that you go to school, you can choose to go at night. So you choose morning, afternoon, or
That's
night.
kind of genius.
It's pretty
Well,
sick.
I was just thinking like, well, maybe it gives the kids a chance to work too, or have a trade, or have a little bit more flexibility to kind of like do something different.
Yeah.
Because here you're in school all day,
All day,
and then, sports and the days.
Yeah, that same school has trade schools too,
Trade
and all
schools,
that,
yeah.
like opportunities for.
So Hang Loose.
for all.
Hang Loose was paid for your family to move out of the favela.
Closer to the beach, and
That's incredible.
When I was 11 years old.
11?
Yeah.
And you got free school because you shredded and they wanted to recruit you.
So was your
I
dad tripping?
actually started going to that school when I used to live in the favelas too.
Mm.
So I would jump in a school bus, and then it was like all the way to the other side of the town, almost. And they would take me in the mornings and then back,
Yeah.
And I would surf in the afternoons only. Then when I moved to closer to the
And
beach,
you could get a morning session.
and then I was able to surf before school. School started at 7:30, and me and my friends, Leo Guimarães, Vitor Mendes, is Jess's brother. We would surf before school, and then after that year, we did that for a couple of years. But after that, I started going to school in the afternoon. They didn't, and I was like, "You guys are blowing it.
Yeah.
It's so much better just to go in the afternoon and surf all morning."
I can't get over that Hang Loose paid for your family to move out of the favelas.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're 11 years old. So to think how like generous and how much they probably did in business to be able to, you know what I mean, to pay for you guys, because that's
Well, I'm sure it's all relative based on cost of living and stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
still like, you know, they're
I've
I've
investing a
never
lot in
heard
the-
of anything like that. Have you?
Well, I mean, nah, not really. I mean, you know, I wouldn't. I'm not surprised. But
I'm super
but-
surprised because, like, you know, I have no knowledge of the culture in Brazil. Only, you know, just
from
tidbits
here,
from whatever.
Brazil,
Yeah.
stuff,
And yeah, I mean, the favelas is the ghetto,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And for a surf brand that we barely know anything of, right? We know Quicksilver, we know Billabong, we know Ruka, we know Caton, we know big brands, and we've seen Hang Loose, you know, maybe a couple times a year, maybe sometimes never. And to hear that a brand like that in your country
No, they're
supports
huge in
their
Brazil.
fucking people like
Yeah,
that,
They're huge.
that's ridiculous. That's insane.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Good for them.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for Alfio, which is the owner of Hang Loose, for all that he did, and
And you rode for 12 years, you said?
yeah, around that.
Yeah.
Because I got on Billabong when I was 18, 17, about to turn 18, and before then, I used to ride for Hang Loose, and
Yeah.
I actually didn't want to leave Hang Loose.
I bet.
Billabong spoke to me a couple of times, like they were like, "Yeah, let's get you on Billabong and stuff." I was like, "No, I'm good on Hang Loose." Like,
Yeah.
and then they hit me again throughout Jesse, I think, and then Paulo, which is my coach. Like maybe like 2 or 3 times that they got back and they were like, "Yeah, let's make this happen" and stuff.
So
Did Hang Loose have like their own like stores, like surf shops, or did they just sell like the brand to a bunch? Did
They
have
sell the brand to a bunch.
Yeah.
They don't have their own.
own stores,
Flagship
yeah.
stores.
They're huge in Brazil.
Yeah.
They're,
I remember them being big, you know.
they sponsored
time ago.
the big Brazil contest,
Yeah.
the Hang Loose Pro
Yeah.
contest.
Yep.
Fernando de Noronha is the QS is sponsored by them. They sponsored it for a while and had a couple stops.
Yeah, I went like 5 or 6 times to do some events over there, like, but you know, we're always at the beach, you know,
hmm
we're in Florianopolis or Rio or Ubatuba or Recife or
The
you know.
Florianopolis contest, I'm pretty sure it was sponsored by Hang Loose.
Yeah, like I remember, I don't know which
Hang
spot was the Hang Loose event, but it was like
Joaquina.
there was a
so was
yeah.
was surfing a big thing for all Brazil or not?
It's bigger nowadays, I think, or I don't know. It's still it was big already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's like here? You've lived in the States for a while,
Mhm.
right? And you've seen all the different kind of retail. Is it like that over there or different?
Yeah, it's
Huh.
totally
Bunch of
yeah.
surf brands,
Yeah,
yeah,
bunch of surf
full
brands,
full
yeah.
hardcore surf shops.
Hmm.
Yeah, crowded lineups. Not as crowded as here, but
Yeah. Yeah, right. When you're surfing locally, when you're small, like young, you're doing the regional events, and then you know, is there a bigger circuit? Like as a junior, like are you traveling up and down the
we
coast?
had a couple of circuits. It was Rip Ground Surge, the Volcom TCT, the Hang Loose State,
Mm.
the São Paulo State contest, and then the schooling one too,
Yeah.
and then the CD one, the Guarujá one. So yeah, there were
There's a lot of contests, a lot of amateur stuff.
Yeah, a lot of amateurs.
But I don't remember driving a ton. We flew a lot, even though like we were only going a couple hours down the coast. Like you were hopping in these little planes because of, like the drives like really gnarly. It's really, you know, mountainous
Mountainous.
and,
Yeah.
and you know, really
Mm.
tropical and jungly. You know, is it easy to travel like for
yeah,
you guys?
yeah. All of those contests were pretty close.
Yeah.
We would drive. My dad would drive. He loves driving, so he would drive us everywhere, even like other states and stuff. This time there's Ripco Drum Search. It was like all the way down in Rio Grande do Sul, which is a couple states down south. And my dad drove there and it took us like 16 hours drive and stuff. It was me, David Silva, his dad, and my dad in the car, and we were like, we're never gonna make it.
No stops, no surf on, no,
Well,
just
we
straight
would,
there.
Yeah, we would go straight and just stop to go get food and stuff. But it was a long drive. I remember in the car for a while.
What first like international trip? Like, did you go to anywhere else? South America, Central America, Europe? Hawaii?
Yeah. 1 year after I signed up with Hinglas, they took me my first international trip to Peru.
Wow.
I was like 9 to 10 years old.
Dang.
And
That's so young.
I couldn't imagine sending Duke off on a trip.
Yeah.
yeah, my dad and my mom had to like sign a authorization. How do you say it?
Yeah.
Like
Release, like a parent guardian release.
Parent guardian release for me to be able to do trips with the team and stuff. And I remember, I'll never forget. Actually, Ian Gouveia was pretty funny, like his dad. And I got in the plane, and you know how the seat has the arm for you to rest your arm. He was like, and he has a little button for the seat recliner that I didn't know. He was like, yeah, press that button and ask for a Coke. So I was like, una Coca, por favor. It was hilarious.
Teasing you.
And then that trip was me, Lucas Silveira, Luan Wood, this guy Molinha, which is like insane on longboarding back then. Still surfs it up to this day, but back then he used to ride for like Quicksilver. Ian Gouveia and Paulo Kidd. He used to do like a couple trips like this for us to surf better waves and work on our surfing and just film and go back.
So it was just like photo, video trip, just go have fun, like catch good waves.
Yeah, just like to progress. Like, let's go to Peru because
the land of lefts.
Yeah, my backside was horrible.
So, what was your home spot like? Is it a beach break?
Just like so many beach breaks. Tombo, Asturias, Monduba.
But not like our shitty beach break, like wedgie.
Yeah,
like,
wedgie.
lots of headlands
small
and
beach.
Yeah.
And
all tropical.
Yeah.
Sounds dreamy.
Trunks all day. You could do the whole stretch that I'm talking about in like 20 minutes, biking. Yeah.
So small.
I would like surf at one spot. I wasn't that good. Just hop on the bike and go to the other spot and just surf better waves and stuff. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. And that was Peru was your first.
Peru was my first trip.
Out country.
Yeah, with the bulls.
And did you guys score waves on that trip?
Yeah, but I mean, Lobitos is insane. That laugh is amazing. So we were surfing that way.
Is that the Peru pipeline?
No, Lobitos is the long one.
Oh, the really long one.
Yeah, but behind the rock it has a really nice barrel. Like we didn't get it like crazy big or anything, but it was good enough for me as a 10-year-old kid to work on my backside.
Yeah, multiple turns, long.
And then the year after that, we went to El Salvador, which was really sick too. That trip was me, Leo Guimarães, his brothers, Cine Guimarães, Luan Wood, Lucas Silveira. Then my coach would do the same thing, just bring a camera and tripod and film the whole sesh, and then go back and watch the whole what we did and what we did right or wrong and what not to do and stuff like that. And the next year, so every year, when I had in July,
summer break or vacation break,
school break, we wouldn't have a trip. So we did that like 3 or 4 years in a row. And the next year I went to Mexico.
Closer and closer to the United States.
So that was my first trip was in 2007. Second trip 2008, 2009. Then 2010 was we went 2 years back to to El Salvador, I think. And then the 2010 I went to Mexico.
What part? Like Salina Cruz?
Salina Cruz,
Yeah.
and it was best trip ever. I'll never forget. We got those points just cranking. It was so good. I
Yeah.
was like dreaming, pinching myself, just sandbar trunks and
Perfect.
I
Right?
was
Barrels.
like, yeah, it was really good. The video is actually on YouTube. If you look up Victor Bernardo 2010,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it pops up.
Nice.
And so yeah, the video is there because my coach would film the whole thing, and he has.
Good for marketing, good for the sponsors, you know, get your name out and have, you know, little
Yeah.
video edits.
Well, it was mostly to work on
Yeah.
on surfing, but yeah, it all comes together and all comes into, you know.
So when did you think that you want to be a pro surfer?
At 9 when he was getting close.
He's already pro at 9,
I
you
know,
know, right?
when I was 4 years old, actually. Well, when I first started surfing, man, I was just like, wow, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Because back then I would see Reddit people like surfing for a living and stuff, you know,
Yeah.
like just watching TV, magazines when magazines are alive still.
Yeah.
You know, my dad would buy a bunch of magazines, and we would get surf movies from the magazines and just watch every day.
It's crazy how like addicting and how awesome surfing is. Like
Yeah.
we celebrate, we talk about it all the time, but it's like, you know,
Changes your life.
that old Billabong slogan, only a surfer knows the feeling, right? It was a
Yeah.
Billabong.
Mhm.
Like, and it's kind of true, you
It's
know,
true,
like
for sure.
it's like we would do anything to stay in the water all day.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
But it's so interesting to finally talk face to face with a Brazilian surfer, because you know our reference of it, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's a third world country for the most part, right?
Yeah.
And to see people coming from there, right? There is a lot, but to know that what it takes to make it,
Yeah.
you know what I
It's
mean?
crazy support system. It seems like, you know, there's a lot of, you know, people
Yeah, it's
and brands.
surprising because you know what I'm saying, like it's a third world country. To be able to have access, like you, in my mind, you're like, shit, like it's hard to be a surfer in Brazil, right?
Oh, it's a lot more simple than you think, actually.
Yeah.
Because we have warm water, and if we live close to the beach, man, we surf all day.
Yeah.
And-
That's how we get
and
better.
limit-
But like your fucking sponsor paid for you to get out of the
Yeah.
ghetto.
But here in America, like surfing's so like down the sports list, like so far
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Like it's not existent in like, you know, like how big America is and only the coast. But you know,
Did you do any other?
you compete with other brand or other sports so much.
There's a like baseball here, soccer.
Like Brazil, it's
If you
Water
think about it,
polo.
actually, the coast that has surfing up in America is kind of small.
yeah.
So it might be that, you know.
Yeah.
East Coast has surfing too, but you know, California is the best. I think,
Yeah.
in my view.
But after that, it's too cold. There's very
Too
limited,
cold,
you know,
exactly.
like up in Oregon and Washington.
You
it's-
don't get to surf 8 hours a day.
No.
In Brazil, we do. We did.
Yeah.
That's all I did my whole childhood. I would
But the-
surf like 10 hours a day.
But the
all
like
day.
the youth investment and how popular it is there, because it's like soccer and surfing, like
Yeah.
you know, like
It's not as big.
no, but like those are the kind
Yeah.
of premier sports
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the country.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, gets a lot of
Nowadays,
attention.
Yeah, it does.
Like the tourism, they pay. You know,
Soccer is insanely huge.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't think surfing will ever get to
no
soccer.
way.
Yeah.
That's the biggest sport in the world.
Every time I go, like even like if I go to another country and they see the Brazilian passport, they say, "Oh, Ronaldinho, Pelé, Neymar." I'm like, "Yeah, soccer, yeah." You know, like.
Well, the World Cup's every 4 years because they got to build a whole city to house it. Like you know, they got to build this like 100-something thousand person arena.
Mm.
So you're telling us Billabong, you rode for Hang Loose for 12 years, and then Billabong kept that trying to recruit you.
Yeah, they did, and then we finally got to do it, and I had a 5-year contract, but it got cut at 3 years and a half because Billabong got bought by board riders, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were trimming the tree.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of the
Branches.
That got
branches
cut.
in that cut.
That's crazy.
But yeah, Billabong was also a big thing in my life because I got to hang with Joe Parkinson, Mark Lupo, and all of them. You know, like
Nice.
got to stay at the Billabong house, which was just
Brought you to Hawaii?
not even near my dreams. You know, like I was just all the one in Hawaii.
Yeah. Now, I always like talking about, like, you know, when you go to Hawaii and you see those waves, right? And you're like, holy shit, I'm in Hawaii, and, you know, I'm going to surf waves that I see in the magazines and videos all my life, and now here's my chance, you know.
Time to step it up.
Yeah, that
You
happened.
got, you got Dorian on the backyard house is hooting you into every bomb.
My first trip to Hawaii, Kangaroos all supported me. It was back in 2010, and it was me and David Sua that went to that trip, and a filmmaker, and we got stuck in Chicago because they had the crazy storm. We were stuck in Chicago for like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, shit.
Because the storm was crazy, and that was actually my first time seeing snow.
To see the snow.
Yeah,
To de-ice the planes and stuff,
Yeah.
spraying the planes down.
It was
It's crazy.
Where did you guys stay? Did they put you up in a hotel,
They
or
put us up in a hotel, yeah.
did you even have winter clothes?
I'm going to
I
Hawaii.
have one pair of pants, one sweater, and then we bought gloves, but we didn't
Chicago.
have anything.
That place sucks, right?
Yeah, it's cold. I know it sucks, but it's cold, man.
Yeah.
I was freezing.
What a nightmare. 3 days.
Yeah, that was my first trip to Hawaii, 2010. I was like 14.
And when you got to Hawaii, we were just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
What wave were you excited to surf?
Rockies.
No.
Sunset?
Hector.
No.
Pipeline?
No.
Haleiwa?
No.
Laniakea?
No.
Waimea?
Little inside barrel. Little.
Velzy?
Yes, of course.
Velzy.
I wanted to surf Velzeland so bad.
I want to surf that wave too. That
That
fucking
was
place
so
looks
fun.
amazing.
It's like a wave
No,
machine.
but of course, Pipeline was my dream backdoor and stuff. But Velzeland was my.
It's perfect.
So were
the one
you
I wanted to surf the most.
That's my kid's favorite wave too.
Yeah.
prepared for Hawaii? Like
Well, in which way?
like
Mentally, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
charge bigger
like
boards.
did you
I
have
had
yeah.
bigger boards and stuff. I wasn't like courageous.
Yeah, courageous.
Like gnarly as some Brazilians are and stuff. But I was charging. I mean, to me, I was charging. Surfing anything bigger than 4 to 5, I was charging. You know.
Yeah.
First,
I used to love going out at sunset and just seeing that whole like lineup and stuff. And then Pipeline, of course, it was always a big scene. And then
Was it what you expected, or was it
Yeah.
scarier than you
Yeah.
expected?
yeah, of course, scarier than I expected.
I think the pipeline, seeing how close it breaks. If you see it when it's small and you see it when it's big, you're like, wait, it's right there still. It's not
Yeah.
like, wait, it just breaks.
We
right
talk
there.
about that a lot. Like, if you go there and it's flat, you're like, how's this even?
How does this even happen?
Yeah.
I get that a lot. Yeah.
I trip on that, like, because I've been there when it's dead flat, and then you walk into a surf shop and you see those big photos of it.
The next day it's just like that.
Yeah.
Or even that afternoon, you're
Yeah.
like, wow. It's
Yeah.
crazy how things change. Like
Middle
like
of the
that.
ocean, man.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
and it's just so much bigger and more powerful.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah,
Well,
gnarly.
Yeah, I've been to Hawaii. So Hanglers would take me every year to Hawaii to just spend like time in Hawaii. This one time I spent like 3 months, I think. Like
Ooh.
I stayed over Christmas, New Year's and stuff. I'd always do that. And
What
then-
boards would you ride? Like, what sizes?
So I started riding for Shine Surfboards by Careca, and he shaped me.
Is that another Brazilian shaper?
Another Brazilian shaper.
It's big.
Yeah, he was really big. He used to shape me up to like just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I did the whole QS riding for him and stuff. like almost the same time I rode for. Actually, a little longer because
So,
And we're back.
back on.
so Hawaii boards.
Yeah, Hawaii boards. I had a whole quiver. I was prepared. Maybe not mentally prepared.
Well, it's kind of hard to know what what it's going to be like unless you're looking at the forecast like up until the day.
Well, yeah, exactly. But also growing up in Brazil, first trip to Hawaii was a big shock.
Yeah.
Just seeing Waimea and pipe and all of that just breaking at its best.
And the boards are so different.
Yeah.
You know, like they're pintails, they're narrower, right?
And you don't know what you're talking about. You never had a step up. This guy, he's like, I got a fish and I got a groveler. I got a twin fin.
My shaper back then was Shine Surf boards, and he used to make boards for a bunch of the professional surfers that went to Hawaii, so he knew what he was getting into and stuff. So he shaped me a whole quiver of like just from 5.7 to 7.0,
Yeah.
and
Doesn't that trip you out though when you get those boards and then you start looking at them and you're like, okay, 5.7, and then you go to your 6.6, and then you get to that 7.0, you're like, fuck.
yeah.
Like, this
It's
means
sick.
I have
Yeah,
a 7.0. This means I have to surf waves
You
that.
gotta go, yeah. I used to ride the bigger boards at Sunset or Pipeline and stuff. But Sunset is one of my favorite waves.
Really?
Sunset is like, if not my favorite wave out in Hawaii.
In most of those waves, even though it's big, you could still kind of, unless it's crazy big, you could still kind of go out and sit off to the side and watch, and kind of, you don't have to go out and
At Sunset, if that
West
wave,
Bowl,
that West Bowl comes, you're like, oh shit.
yeah, you don't realize the current's really pulling you out, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, no man's land. But yeah, no, but you could still kind of
Yeah.
ease into it. You're not throwing
I've
the
never
lines in.
surfed it big, but I've seen it. It looks so good. Like when it's the conditions are right, it looks like, oh, I can surf that. I mean, it's perfect. It's always breaks right there. Like there's no, there's no getting caught inside until you get caught inside.
Yeah, I mean it changes drastically with the angle of the swell too.
It's the aggressiveness, right? Like Hawaii lineups, I'm sure Brazil was aggressive too, but when you get to a place like Hawaii and everyone's trying to get their wave, how
It's
fucking
different.
crazy is that?
It's a lot different. My last surf in Hawaii was 2018, I think, when I did the QS, Haleiwa and Sunset, and then my last surf in Sunset I think was during my heat. It was like last heat of the day, and they were calling it off for the next day already because so I was just building. I was like probably 12 to 15 crazy
Hawaiian.
Hawaiian.
Yeah.
We were sitting on the very inside bowl, just taking off, doing 2 turns, but the waves were massive.
Yeah.
And my wife was actually there, and she was like super scared of me pulling out, and then I went and put my jersey on, got my 7.2, had, I forgot his name, coach for Billabong. Reynos.
Yeah.
Reynos was on my corner, but I didn't end up making the heat.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a really tough spot.
Yeah.
So did you get your fill at Velzyland?
Yeah, Velzeland it's so dreamy. Shallow though, it's very shallow.
Sharp reef.
Yeah, sharp
It's really
reef and
spiky.
shallow.
Yeah. You hit there, you're getting lit up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wave is super fun.
What about pipe? Did you get pipe?
I got pipe, not as many waves as I wish I did, but I had a contest there, and maybe more than one actually. I did the QS and I did the Pipe Invitational through Billabong. It was really nice. Made the final. Almost got to the CT.
Wow.
On that
The wild card,
stop,
two slots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really hard.
I had some really fun heats. It was just like backdoor, building swell, super fun. I got to the final and it was starting like to get bigger and just kind of like a couple pipe waves, not as many backdoor ones. And then Finn and
Miguel.
Finn Miguel and not the
Benji Brand?
the older
No.
Bashan. The older Bashan.
Gavin.
Gavin. It was me, Gavin, him, and Josh Muniz in the final. Yeah, it was a good stacked heat. Then Finn and the other guy. I always blank on his name. I just said it, but I already forgot.
Manice.
No,
Gavin.
Gavin Bashan.
Yeah.
Yes. They both made it. I needed a 3 something.
Which
So
is
I could
like,
never get.
which is so crazy when it's like you're at pipe and you know it's like you see all these big scores, but like to get that second score back up, or you only need
Yeah.
so many heats have been lost, only needing like a 2 or 3.
So many. Yeah.
And it's always like, it even like doesn't matter the pro or you know how good a pipe surfer they are. I mean, John and Slater, you name it, like they've
Yeah.
all gone down by rarely, but
Mhm.
you know it happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
It's
So-
crazy how quick you can get waves too
Yeah,
at pipe. Like you could be comboed, but then all of a sudden, you know,
Yeah.
in
2
the
minutes
last,
to get to.
Yeah,
Was it Andy that got 2 back to back and turned the heat
against Kelly.
against Kelly?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
I think so.
And I think
That was crazy.
yeah, Jake Spooner had one. Like
Jake.
I mean Jake Patterson.
Patterson.
Sorry, Spooner.
Yeah.
I was just talking about Jake Patterson with somebody else like not so long ago. But yeah, no, that wave is it's a great contest.
Yeah.
They should end it the year there, right? Should go back and have the final like day.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Please do.
Any other like? I mean, you grinded the tour QS challengers for years. Like,
Mhm.
what other spots travel where you just like pumped on going?
Yeah, so I was like 13, 14 years old, turning 15 almost. When I was like 14, 15 years old, I started doing a couple juniors, pro
Yeah.
juniors in Brazil, and they actually had like the QS of the same window, on the same window. And I did a couple QSs, and I think my first or second QS, I got like 5th. And it was pretty sick, and me and my coach were psyched on it, and we were like, "Oh,
That's huge."
Yeah, just building points for the next year and stuff. When back then, when it was normal, as we would, you know, like not
Yeah, yeah.
regional, so like I would climb up the world ranking and qualify for the CSs, the primes,
Yeah,
and so I was doing the juniors and stuff, and did that QS, got a good result, and then did a couple other ones when they were close and easy to get to.
yeah, because it's so expensive to travel like to those events, you know. And
Yeah,
it's kind of cool how they're doing, you know,
but
the region and building and getting the points before having to travel before it was so expensive.
yeah, it's cool, but
It's hard.
I think it might be harder, and then you still spend a lot of money
Yeah,
because you gotta do the regional, then you gotta do the CS, which is like another lot of trips, and you don't even get to do the CS again the next year. You gotta qualify again
oh,
if you don't stay in that maybe like 15 or 20th in the rankings
yeah.
for the next year. So yeah, I started doing those contests, and I was doing the juniors mostly, and then the regionals ones, the whatchamacallit, the state one, and you know, I was young still, but English had my back, and they were taking me everywhere, and I would do like Lacano and all of the whole tour almost.
The pro juniors or just the QS?
The QS.
Yeah.
I started doing the QS young. I was like 16. I was already doing
Damn.
the whole QS.
How rad's Europe, huh? How's it going?
Europe is awesome. Yeah. Then I did those contests. It was like 2014 when I signed up with Red Bull and Hang Loose. So I had more budgets to do the whole QS scene. I did Virginia, France, all the QS window, And then I was trying to
Which
find
sponsor was
myself
that?
up. Hang Loose and Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Yeah, I was sponsored
Yeah.
for Red Bull for a year. One of the only ones.
Yeah.
Before the lockdowns or
Yeah, it was 2014.
14 early.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That was probably a pretty decent contract, right?
Well, it was good. It was good. Not crazy good, but it was good.
Yeah.
it helped a lot.
Because when we talk about like how money comes into the sport, right?
Yeah.
And over the years, that logo, right, and the sponsorship and the money behind it, it switches around from like clothing company to shoe company to sunglass company.
Yeah.
And then, you know, in the past, 5 years, 6 years, it's energy drinks.
Dominating.
Monster, Rockstar.
Yeah.
I mean, now these days, like Celsius and A-Shock and
Yeah, there's a lot of new June Shine.
June Shine.
Like a lot of 805. I mean, Pacifico, Corona. They've been always Jose Cuervo. I mean, they're it's good for the sport to grab in.
Yeah.
Like those types of.
But Red Bull, holy shit! You watched the how surfers get paid,
Yeah, I did.
dude. What
Yeah.
Chris was making,
Yeah.
off of Red Bull.
Red Bull.
You see that, Brando?
No.
Bro,
I didn't get it. If I got 1% of that,
I think
nah, it's
they
very little.
break it all down, and Carissa made over $1 million
Oh shit.
Just Red Bull.
Yeah.
off Red Bull.
Yeah, good for her. She deserves it, man.
Yeah, she's awesome.
I mean, all surfers deserve it.
Yeah.
Like it's great. Hopefully that kind of trickled down. Throughout. All the different.
It's like, I want that Billabong contract. I want that Oakley contract. Hell no, I want that Red Bull contract.
It's pretty much like that now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So,
But grinding the tour, you still get to go surf like pretty good waves at some of those spots, and some of them aren't as glorious. You're like,
Yeah, I wasn't doing as many trips just to surf as I wanted, but I would always like fit up one end out of my whole year of competing.
go on a real surf trip.
Yeah, on a real surf trip, just friends and surf as much as you can.
Like Mentawai's Fiji, or
we did. I never went to Fiji, which is one of the
on the bucket list.
It's for sure top, maybe on the top.
Yeah.
But we did a couple Mentawais trips, Indonesia. Yeah, like I would even go to Mexico.
Yep.
Score some waves, work on my surfing.
So-
If you only surf the Key West waves, man, you're
yeah, you're never going to progress.
never gonna.
So did
you
you
go crazy? What? I got a surf bunch.
I
at
mean,
the beach wave?
think about it. You do the Key West. You qualify. If you only do the Key West and qualify, you're not prepared at all.
Yeah.
No,
You're gonna surf the CT
in real waves.
in real waves coming from the Key West, which is like horrible waves.
Yeah, it never
Yeah.
made sense. It was
Still doesn't. It still doesn't.
Going-
I mean, the CS now has 6 spots, like 6 locations, but still, like they're not scoring.
Yeah.
I mean, Snapper was
Good,
good, but it could have been better. Imagine Snapper going off.
Yeah, and Bolino,
Bolito,
Bolito.
That-
That one they got.
they got skunked.
Yeah, crappy waves. I mean, that could be good too. I mean,
It
it's
was
just
Was it last year that Ryan Callanan and Rio Wada, that Australia, they got kind of pretty good waves,
It was
right?
a year before, right?
It
thought it
was
was last
year.
year.
It was
Last
last
year.
year.
Yeah. Or
The
Rio,
Sydney one.
yeah, did Rio
Sydney
win or was it
contest?
Ryan? No, Rio won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Like it's like they have all these events and kind of
I mean,
Decent.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But if those events were in better ways, it would have been better. Like the surfer would have that. I mean, all I'm saying is like not all surfers have the money to do those contests and go on trips and get ready for the CS. I mean, Rio is from Indonesia. He surfs really good waves every
Yeah.
time.
yeah. he
Right.
leaves-
Did you see
he
the
leaves-
freaking Nias comp that they just had?
They just had a NIAS contest.
They
yeah.
fucking score.
I know it's
Yeah.
always pumping there. Like I don't know why that couldn't be like a tour event.
Yeah.
like it's crazy.
Mhm.
Who won that one?
But like yeah,
Rio.
Rio won that one too?
Yeah, Rio has to leave good waves to go travel to surf.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you
on the
know?
He
QS.
has to stay
yeah.
home to get
Now he's on the CT, but on the QS, he had to leave Indonesia to go like
So
surf.
going back to your dad and his humble beginnings, does he just keep tripping out when you get to go travel to different?
Well,
You get these different sponsors and you get to travel all these different places. Does he just like?
Yeah, he does. He does.
How wild would that be if you're, you know?
I mean, yeah. I mean, your kids, like, you want them to have a better life
Yeah.
than what you had, and you know, like, you see them accomplishing great things. It's like amazing.
Yeah, he told me he would never jump in a plane, but I got.
Oh, so he's never gone on a trip with you?
No, I did get him in a plane. We went to Peru and it was a blast.
Nice.
But then I got dropped and I was short on money and I was doing my contest and didn't get to take him on another trip. But that trip was a sick one. I really want to take him to Mexico sometime soon.
Is he goofy footer or regular footer?
Regular footer.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, he wants to
Yeah,
go to
he's
those rides.
gonna love those rides.
Not yeah, playful, but yet, you know, rippable and
No, it's a
long.
dream. Mexico to me is one of the best spots ever. Just
So you,
huge variety.
I wanted to ask earlier, your English is really good.
No,
You
thank
know, like, for sure. Like, in that, you know, obviously is your second language. Did
Go to
your
school
parents,
for
was
it,
it
or-
school that helped, or just, you know, communicating with like friends, and how did you develop?
Another funny story from Hang was they actually got me into an English school too.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
they knew.
Hang
Yeah.
Loose is rad.
Right?
This is rad. Yeah, they got me. It was. I remember being. It was me, Jesse's brother, Peter Mendes, Leo Guimarães, another really good surfer from Brazil too. And my coach's daughter, Malu Mendes. We would surf and then go to school. And yeah, just it was a particular.
Just English
a
class,
private-
like a private class
private
outside
class.
of your regular school.
Yeah. And
They make you write everything, or just
yeah,
like
spelling,
really.
grammar,
Wow.
listen to music. Yeah, it was really good. Itamar is the name of the teacher, and he was killer.
Yeah.
And I still see him nowadays, and he sees me only speak English, and even though we're from Brazil, like
Yeah.
he wants to see like how well he did. You know, like
Yeah.
he taught me a lot.
That's cool.
It was tough to like travel for America, you know, or English speaking. You know, I wouldn't just say America, but you know, we would, you know, you go to a place and they speak, you know, Portuguese and then Spanish and this. But every time you're somewhere in those places, because they wanted to communicate everything in English to you. Like they never wanted to help you like speak their language. A couple words or hearing phrases. You know,
They're
it's
just
like
excited to speak English.
100%,
Yeah.
and
Most of the spots are like that.
Yeah.
and it was difficult to kind of grasp, you know, because it's like, oh, I want to learn, teach me more, and they're like,
Yeah.
we work on English.
I went to Peru, El Salvador, and Mexico a lot. So I
Peru,
picked
So
up,
now you
Salvador.
Spanish really
I
well
picked
too.
up a lot
Yeah.
of the Spanish, which is funny because the people that speak Spanish, they can't pick up Portuguese that easy.
Wow.
And
It's interesting.
from Portuguese to Spanish, it's like
Easy?
Yeah, it's super
Easier.
easy. Yeah, easier.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know the way that we pronounce and conjugate every verb and
Yeah.
all that. I think it makes confusing for them, but we can pick up like a lot of the Spanish. So
Yeah.
I go to places and to Hispanic
And is-
places, and I only speak Spanish.
Is it similar to like French, like, you know, or
Couple
German,
words
or like some?
comes from the Latin. And,
Yeah.
Latin.
This guy he's good at language. Certain people have the knack of
Mhm.
like picking up. He spoke German and Japanese
Yeah. Just conversational, but
enough.
yeah.
I have
enough.
a little Japanese going too. Like
Nice.
just the basics.
Anata no namae wa nan desu ka?
Oh, I know. I don't know that one. Genki desu ka? Genki desu. Genki.
He just asked you want to buy like these $5 Mercs.
Nope.
I got
I
a whole
still-
box
I
of
still
Stussy in
can't-
the back room. Is that, you know, let's negotiate a price.
I still can't get over the fact how much Hang Loose helps the people that they sponsor. Because, like, we get you know, we get stoked when we talk about like Quicksilver and Billabong and Volcom and
Investing
even Rip Curl
into the
too.
new generation.
Yeah, like the Grom Fest, Rip Curl Grom Search, and the VQSs,
Yeah,
the Crustacean.
yeah.
And then how Quicksilver, you know, over the years they did King of the Peak, or you know,
King
they've
of the
done
Drums.
King of the Groms and King of the Peak, like a bunch of different.
Yeah.
And Billabong
Contests.
does the boy. What's her like one?
I don't even know, but those companies,
Gosh,
I think they used to sponsor the Progenitor.
yeah.
Progenitor.
But it's cool that these, you know, brands give back and help nurture the future of the sport. But what Hang Loose, what you just like kind of told us, is so trippy.
Yeah.
So
But again, it's all, I think, relative. Like, so if Quicksilver, I'm 13 and they're paying all my NSSAs and all the give me per diem. You put that into, it's just different as far as like the money spent
yeah,
versus the money where they're at goes a lot longer, a lot more. So
it just sounds way
it's crazy.
more like
Yeah, but
benevolent.
If
Is the right word benevolent? Like,
It's impressive.
I get the way you're thinking, but we're all dealing with Brazil. It's
Yeah.
not like they had $40,000 investing in me. They
Yeah.
were spending the X amount on me all in Brazil. It was like expensive.
yeah. No,
Paying for my schooling, paying for
it's crazy.
my whole family to live, giving me a salary,
better life.
a monthly payment,
Yeah.
taking me to places. That costs a lot.
yeah.
You know?
Because us, like when we talk about kids being sponsored, like you get that box, of clothes, and you get the sticker, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, I'm fucking sponsored," like,
Yeah, you get your 8 items like every other month or something like that.
and you're stoked, and your parents are stoked, right? Because
Yeah.
they are not spending money on clothes, and you're getting help with contests, and you're getting help,
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to make such a big deal out of it,
Yeah.
but that's fucking so insane to hear.
No, yeah, it is a big deal. I
Yeah.
mean, if it wasn't for English, I wouldn't be here. I don't
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
like maybe some other way, but the way my coach projected my whole career, because he was the one that had the idea of putting me into English school, taking me to like places.
What's this guy's name again? Paulo Kid.
Paulo Mendes is his name, but he's well known as Paulo Kid.
Okay. Now is that Jesse Mendez's
coach? Too.
Okay.
Yep.
But different, same last name but different family.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Paulo he is a visionary,
Yeah.
Like he saw my whole future. He was like making plans and drawing my career, like, and he did super well. I mean, if he
Is he
wasn't,
still doing this for other people too? And
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
he's amazing.
Has there been another generation of young kids coming out of your area?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
yeah,
assume.
Yeah.
Like,
He's coaching. a
Yeah,
couple
hometown
really-
heroes over here. Like you get the next generation, and they're just
Yeah.
like,
He's
I want to
coaching.
be you.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
He's coaching some really good kids nowadays. His daughter, she has a little she's mentally paralytic. Like when she was born, she had to go to emergency and stuff. So she has a little problem. She competes in the ISA. I don't know how to say it in English. So it's
Physical or
mental.
mental. Hmm.
So paralisia cerebral, just a little bit. So
Yeah.
she was in apnea for a bit when she was born, and she does the ISA, and she's like 3 times world champion.
That's
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Yeah,
Paulo's kid.
yeah.
Oh,
Malu
nice.
Mendes. Yeah,
That's right.
she's amazing. We grew up together, like playing and stuff, and to me, she's really a really big inspirational to me.
Yeah.
Like all she did and stuff, it's like super impressive.
Just charger. I mean, like just always a good day.
Yeah, personality.
Personality.
and all that. Like, she's amazing. Paulo, I mean, if you see other people that has the same problem you don't think that she has the same thing.
Yeah.
So that, like, put it that way, because Paulo took her and not took her, raised her
Yeah.
as a normal kid. She was playing with us like her whole life and like doing everything a normal person does. But
Yeah.
she always had that problem.
Don't let that be a hindrance. Just go
Yeah.
out and live
Yeah.
life to the fullest.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. And yeah, she's amazing. I mean, imagine a person that has her problem being a world champion, surfing
Yeah.
by herself and stuff. She's amazing.
That's awesome.
You know.
How often do you get to go back to home to Brazil? I know it's expensive, you know, coming from you're living in California now, like to travel and stuff. You gotta go.
Yeah, just working on a lot of stuff. You know, just a lot of projects and just like being here. Like, to me, like the most important thing is be here at the moment.
Yeah.
And just do what I have to do. You know, and I went to Brazil one time this year.
Yeah.
In like the past 2 years, and got to like produce with my friends back there that the films and stuff. Filmed a little
Yeah.
part of. It's called Saudade.
I didn't know how to pronounce that. I watched the YouTube video of that. You
Yeah.
in your hometown,
My
like local
hometown with
spot.
my family and stuff.
I didn't know how to.
Saudade?
Saudade, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know how to pronounce it. So I
Saudade
didn't
is
want
a
to butcher it.
feeling when you miss someone or somebody.
Yeah.
It's a special word for that. It's not like I'm missing my keys.
Yeah.
You can't say saudade
Yeah.
of my keys.
No.
You gotta say saudade of
Home.
you,
friend.
or of a friend, of
Yeah.
my mom, or you know. So my friend Rafael and his other friend Davi created this how do you call it? This just
Short film.
yeah, and they wanted to name it that way, and I thought it was such a great idea.
Yeah.
Because I do feel saudade of home,
Brazil.
of home, of
Yeah.
being there,
The local food, the
family,
weather,
my
the
routine
fruits, the
and stuff.
family.
and yeah, I mean, I went to Brazil and the album and my sponsors were like, okay, like go see your film and stuff, and they were expecting me coming back with that whole thing, and they were like, wow, that's sick. You mean
That's
let's
right.
go shoot there more.
Yeah.
So take us back. So Billabong, and you were doing QSs and juniors,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Then I just almost qualified, maybe once or twice. I got to Hawaii and did a couple contests throughout the year, and got to Hawaii needing like a second or a final in the Haleiwa contest if other people lost and stuff. And that was the closest I got to qualifying. I did the QS for like almost 10 years. When it was sick, because when I started traveling for the QS, I would travel with not Adrian, but William Cardoso, Thiago Camarão, and Jesse Mendes, Ian Gouveia, which were huge inspiration for me, and I got to travel the whole QS with them, and it was I got to learn a lot from them, and you know, all helping each other.
Yeah.
Everything that the American guys are doing nowadays, we do that from like the way back, you know, like sticking together and being there, and you know, like just being a team. We work as a team.
Well, it's,
Brazil way is
you know,
crazy.
save on money, but you need, you know, traveling's hard. You know, like the logistics and you know the communication and finding places to stay, food. You guys got to be with.
You guys kind of embraced each other and helped push each other, and you know, like root for each other to do better, right? Mm-hmm. And like now, like no one was doing that. Like everyone was kind of, you know,
doing their own thing.
And now like the 2% crew and Griffin and Chloe, like they're starting to.
I think there's always been little, you know,
pockets
and stuff, but it wasn't, you know, you weren't promoting it like
Yeah.
it is today. You know.
Yeah,
Like what
well,
they're
they
doing.
are promoting. We never promoted.
No,
we
that's
just
what I
did it-
mean.
We
Yeah.
just did
You
it
just did it, yeah.
naturally. You
Yeah.
know?
We're like, hey, you're going to this event. You're going to this event. Okay,
Yeah.
like you guys want
I
to get.
booked the house.
Yeah.
You booked this. You booked that, and yeah,
And it always helps to go with somebody that's been there a couple times.
Yeah.
You know.
For
it's
sure.
a family that it's pretty much a family. You know, like
Yeah.
it's. I mean, I'm super thankful to all the guys that I travel with because they taught me a lot. Like William Cardoso is like 10 years older than me. He was doing that even before I started competing, like
Yeah.
doing contests and stuff. And I got to learn from him, like you know, like where to go, what to do, and stuff. And sometimes we would encounter and have beats against each other, but it was all in the water, you know,
Yeah.
like just let's go have fun and see who wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. No hassle.
Yeah.
Who was the cook?
Oh well,
Take turns.
taking turns. Yeah, we took turns, but I was always the dishwasher. William Cardoso cooked a lot, and then yeah, on my last few events I was cooking because Mateos just started traveling with me, and we did a couple stops together. And he would wash the dishes, and I would cook, which all my QS stops is what it was my job to
Yeah.
wash the dishes.
See, you gotta be humble. You gotta start at the bottom, even with a group of friends. Like,
Yeah.
that's epic.
Yeah.
Who drove?
Never sat in the front seat.
Oh, you got the back.
Always got the back.
I always rented the car, so I was the driver.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm driving. I don't trust any of you guys. Like, first of all, you know, and I'm like, I'm getting up at 6. I'm out the door, and if you're not freaking ready, no, I'm just kidding. But no, it's like you have to figure that kind of stuff out, and
Yeah.
that's
It was-
funny. Dishwasher.
Yeah, I was a dishwasher. Yeah, it was. William Cardoso is an amazing human and
Panda.
that really nice person to be with. He lost his parents at a young age. And
Oh, wow.
He's super like. I don't know how.
Big heart.
Yeah, he has a big heart, exactly. And super friendly and like he was my dad in the tour, on the tour, you know.
Yeah.
Like he was taking care of me and he had me under his wing.
Well, we talk about that, like the surf community and the brotherhood of surf, and you know, whether you come from a broken home or parents die, or you just, you know, whatever your family life is, you have
Yeah.
like that surf family too. And if you're able to like bond
Was it-
with
Was it
like-minded-
Bali or Uluwatu that he did well?
Yeah, it was actually the contest was the Australian one, but they finished in Uluwatu, right?
Is that what
Yeah.
they
It was
did?
Margaret River.
Yeah,
Oh,
They
that's
stopped- They
right.
stopped because of the shark, I think.
sharks.
Yeah.
And then they finished in Uluwatu.
Because they had another event.
Who was in the final?
Yeah, they had the Bali event.
Yeah.
The Karama's event.
Yeah,
It was him and Julian Wilson.
That's right.
It was crazy.
small. It
He
was, his
battled-
backside was nuts.
Yeah.
Who won? It was Panda, right?
Panda one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He battled to be on the tour for like over 10 years.
Yeah,
And he qualified and he won an event. It was just, I got goosebumps from
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about that. He's really inspirational.
That's awesome.
yeah. He just hammered down his backside, just 1, 2, 3.
He's a
bum, bum,
big
bum.
boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the biggest on tour.
Yeah.
I mean, that did the tour and competed. Throwing big buckets.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting, if I don't stop surfing every day, I'll get as big as he is.
Your
Just
dad's
from-
pretty skinny though.
Just from wife's cooking, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She cooks the like craziest food and a lot. Just before here, she cooked a whole feast, which is funny. But yeah, Johnny's amazing. Got cooking.
So,
If I
so you
don't-
rode for Billabong for 3 years,
3 years and a half.
and then they made some cuts,
Yeah.
and
Got
then
dropped. So the money I was saving to buy a house, I had to put it towards
the tour.
the tour. Up to today, I still pay my family rent and all that, my family bills.
Yeah.
But I was saving money to buy a house.
Where? Brazil?
At home?
Yeah, back at home. And I got dropped, and I had to use those savings to do the contests and stuff.
Such a shocker, huh?
Yeah, and I didn't have a sponsor for a while. Then I came. We were my wife went to Brazil. Back then we were just dating.
Where's she from?
She's from Santa Clarita.
Okay.
Do you want to share how you guys met?
Yeah, of course. So it was 2015 when we were actually doing a contest in Marzias, the QS. That I didn't have seating for that, but my friend Tuzino, he was the guy that put the contest together there. Contest director, and he gave me a wild card, and I was competing at that contest, and that contest got me to like do the primes, do the bigger events, and there is this picture of me, William, Leo Feravanti, Ian Gouveia, a bunch of the guys that were doing the QS and staying at the same house, the Hang Loose owner house in Marzias. And then I guess she saw the picture on Explore page, and she hit me up.
Like, hey,
She was like,
How
hey.
you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like,
She knew what she
hey.
wanted, and it was you.
It was funny because she was like, hey, you seem really nice to have to hang with. You have a beautiful smile and stuff. Let's hang sometime soon or something. You know, like
It's fucking bold.
it's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, it was funny. And then she was like, where are you from? And
Has
stuff.
that
I'm
ever
like,
happened to you before?
No.
Yeah.
no.
I don't think it's
That
happened
was
to
the first.
Many people, but it's usually dudes trying to DM
Trying to-
chicks.
yeah.
Yeah.
And here's your.
My version. Yeah. So yeah, she messaged me and we were talking. She's like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Brazil. And she was like, oh, I'll never get to meet you. And I'm like, no, well, let's keep talking. We'll make it happen, you know, like. And I had a trip booked to Australia, and every time we would fly to Australia, I would
Come through America.
Come through America, have a layover here. And I told her, hey, I have a 16-hour layover. Why don't you come pick me up at the airport and we go hang or we go cruise? And she did that. She got a flat tire on the way there, which is super funny. And she was like, oh, I got a flat tire. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm like, well, I have 16 hours here. I'm sure you can make it. You know.
Yeah.
So I think she called her uncle, and she was close by her house, and her uncle helped him and her and stuff. And
She made it.
she made it to the airport, and it was me, Santiago, David, and a couple other dudes going to Australia, and they stayed at the airport, and I was like, I'll see you guys later. And
They're
I'm
like, you swab
Yeah.
mofo.
they were like, be careful, man, she's gonna kidnap you. and
Yeah,
stuff.
stalker.
It was funny. But we went to Santa Monica and skated the whole afternoon, had dinner and stuff, and she dropped me off at the airport.
Was the sparks flying?
Yeah, we're connecting.
Yeah.
It was love at
That is
first sight
such.
for sure.
That's such a crazy, like,
That
miracle happening.
It is,
right?
yeah. I mean,
You're in Brazil, and this lady, this girl from across the globe, hits you up on Instagram and says, "I like your energy."
yeah.
And she's from Santa Clarita, which isn't like a
Off
beach,
a fucking.
which isn't like a beach town.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah. How is that even possible? I don't even know how that happened, but it happened, man. And we're still together. We're married now. 8 years together, and yeah.
so you
That is amazing.
go to Australia and like straight back another layover and you
Another
stayed?
layover.
Did you stay?
No, I didn't. I just went back to Brazil. And
Did
then
you guys connect again on your way back?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like
She was hooked.
Yeah. Then a month later, or 3 weeks later, I had a ISA in Oceanside, and then I was talking to the people that were organizing the trip for us to come to the USA, and I was like, I'm getting a hotel, a separate room for me and my girlfriend back then.
Yeah.
And we got a hotel right at the Surf Rider Street, right next to the train track. Is the worst hotel I ever stayed in because I couldn't sleep.
For a contest, yeah. You're just
the up all night, man. The the train would always honk.
Sure as a train.
Up all night for what reason?
Up all night.
So that is so
Sure it was a
rad,
train.
though, you know. So it wasn't that much. 3 weeks later, you're back.
Back in the
Here
U.S.
for an event.
for that event. But back before that, my connection with California, with America, came from my coach sending me to California to spend some time and learn English. You know, talk to people and learn English. But I stayed at a Brazilian friend's house, Yufu Penrose, which is the rap for Sharpai.
So you're down in Oceanside area, or where was he?
No, he lives in San Clemente.
Oh, Sacramento.
Right by Lowers,
Oh, perfect.
which is
Bummer.
which
Yeah.
is another connection because Hoagie and Michael saw they both were coaching another kid or coaching somebody, and they saw me and Griffin surfing back to back and Jake Marshall and stuff, and they were like, Hoagie was like, oh, this kid has a potential and stuff. Which he actually sent us a clip from that day to
And this is
for us.
album?
No, I mean Michael works for album,
Okay.
but
Michael Townsend.
yeah,
Yeah.
he
Is
sent
it Townsend or Townend? Townsend.
So Hoagie sent that clip. He was like, "Oh, let's see this kid and stuff." You know, like I was doing a couple turns and just surfing back in 2013, and that year, the year before actually, I was in France. It's all my story is all
Yeah.
That's okay.
mixed up, but that year before I was doing the King of the Groms in France, and I was hanging with Jake Marshall and his dad. They were playing basketball, so I went and played basketball because I'm pretty outgoing. I make friends like all the time, and like I just start talking to people, and I wanted to improve my English. So
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna talk to this kid, so like my English gets better, and
Mm-hmm.
I also get to be friends with him. It would be nice for him to.
You knew who he was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who he
so
was,
it's like-
of course,
Yeah.
and
You're like, you got an extra bedroom I could come stay at, never hurts,
he
That's
actually invited me. And
That's how you make friends surfing. You're
Yeah.
like, where do you live? Oh, dude, I live here, and start networking and come stay at my place.
that's actually what happened, and he invited me to come to California to stay at his place, with his family, and I got stopped in when you land, you go through the
Customs?
I got
Yeah.
stopped in customs, and they were like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "I'm studying," but I had a tourist visa, and I told the customs that I was coming here to go to stud to
Work or go to school.
Yeah.
Study. Yeah.
So you need a student visa.
I needed a student visa, but then I went to the soccer room, which I kind of like got denied at first,
So it's such a nightmare, huh?
So I had Hillary's number, which is Jake's mom, and they called her, and they're like, "What is this kid doing? He's here telling us that he's coming to America to go to school, and he has a tourist visa." And she was like, "Oh no, it's all confusing. He's coming to my place to stay with my family, and that will be his
Studies.
studies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he will be submerged into American family speaking English."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so innocent that I told them that I was coming here to go to school,
Yeah.
to work on my English.
Oh,
And I
butchering
stayed.
these words and could get you in big trouble.
I
Yeah.
meant surf. I meant surf. I'm here to surf.
study.
Yeah, exactly.
Studying the
That's
life
what I should have
outdoors.
told him. But
Did you say you were a pro server or like no?
no, I was 15.
15, yeah.
Yeah, I was 15 years old or 16.
Yeah.
And yeah, I stayed with them, and they took me as
And he's in
their
Encinitas, right?
kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in Encinitas.
And did you surf lowers before that, or
The year before I surfed Lowers, 2012.
now
2000.
is lowers? What's your opinion of lowers?
Lowers is amazing. I mean, it's one of the best ways out here. but the crowd is insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
Insane.
the crowd is crazy.
It's gotten so freaking out of control.
Yeah, it's really out of control. But if you don't surf that, I mean, there are other ways, but lowers is just that wave that breaks at the same spot and really, really good for you to
Grippable.
work on your
High
surfing.
performance.
High performance surfing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could go out there and catch 1-2 wave maneuver waves, and you could go out there and catch like 8-10 wave maneuver waves. You know,
Yeah,
like it's
exactly.
just
Exactly.
So
And they're all next to each other. I mean, you can go to, we drive, I live in Oceanside, so I surf the pier and the harbor all the time. But when there are south swells, I gotta go to lowers, you know.
Yeah.
Like, lowers will be the spot to get waves and even get clips and stuff.
So, a little bit ago, you were talking about Townsend.
Yeah, Townsend,
And
how they.
Hoagie?
Yeah, and Hoagie, yeah.
Who's Hoagie?
Hoagie is a friend of Townsend. I bet you know him.
It's a Newport Beach. Though.
Yeah, Newport Beach local. He used to surf with all the guys here. I never really got to meet him, but he knows me. He knows who I am since way back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And they both are affiliated with Album?
no, just Michael.
Just Michael.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're really good friends. They always talk to each other and stuff. And I was here in the U.S. working at events, party like as catering events.
Hmm.
I was
that's your wife's or her family's.
her
business?
uncle's business, yeah. And that was the only way I could work and make money to do the contest that I wanted to do. I wanted to compete the regional North American ones, and I was in Palm Springs at her mom's place.
Was it still
Palm
on a
Springs?
student visa,
Yeah,
or
her
did you
mom,
get
her mom
a work
moved.
visa?
I was married already, and I was waiting for my green card.
Yeah, nice.
It was 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and her mom moved from
Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita to Palm Springs like 5 years ago, maybe. So we were staying at her place, just building money, trying to make enough to be able to pay for a rent close by the beach, and also for me to compete in the events. And Michael hit me up and he was like, "Hey, let's talk, you know, like this board I work with for album and stuff." And I was like, "No way." I just told my friend the very last day that I left home, my last day at home, I told my friend, "Hey, I'm going to America. I'm gonna come back with at least one board from album for us to share and surf on. You know, I'm gonna buy a board."
Wow. And that was the board you're gonna buy.
Yeah, I wanted to buy an album for us to share and surf on,
And then they hit you up.
and they hit me up.
Wow.
So wait, how did you get turned on to Album? Like who was writing him, or where did you see it? Or...
Oh, album got huge, and Asher Pacey, Josh Kerr, they
Yeah.
were all ripping on their boards, and
Yeah.
we would send each other, me and my friend Dario, we would send each other
see that clip?
clips, yeah, from them using like the AP and Josh riding their boards, and
I mean,
how
those
beautiful the
those
Instagram
two,
is.
all the surfers that put out a lot of content, like you watch those guys like Josh Kerr
All
and
the
Asher
time.
Casey like over and over and over, and it's like, damn, those
Yeah.
guys are so
Yeah,
gnarly.
it's so good.
But those are all. He's known for alternative boards,
Yeah.
and you're not.
I'm super into alternative boards since I was young.
Were you?
I was doing the QS, but I always had a Tweenie. I always had a Alaya, even longboarding. I always loved to like jump on different stuff. My previous shaper, not my previous, but my second previous shaper had a whole quiver that he shaped back in the 70s, 80s that he let me ride. I had access to those boards, and I was riding single fins, twin fins,
Yeah.
thrusters from back in the days. I was always on like something different, and I think that's one of the things that got me to like slow down and like chill
Smooth.
and smooth now.
Yeah.
My surfing.
So, Michael Townsend hit
The
you
story
up.
is all twisted,
I
man.
know. But he hit you up. Was it how many
True
years
album.
after that they sent you clips when they saw you surfing with Griffin?
2013. So almost 10 years later.
Wow.
10 years later?
Yeah. And then
Wait.
Michael messaged Hoagie, and Hoagie, he was like, "Hey Hoagie, do you remember this kid?"
Wait, is Hoagie the Mexican Tom Curran? Isn't that what they call him?
Maybe.
Is he Mexican?
I never met him. But no,
he's
he's
dark
from here.
skin, yeah. I'm not sure what
I think that's
nationality is.
he's the Mexican.
He's the one that used to film like freaking Mito and Skipper.
But he surfs
like,
really good, right?
surfs really good.
Yeah,
Really good.
I think
Dude, it was all
my
new.
buddy,
I
our
never-
buddy Dave Bonaventura calls him the Mexican
Yes,
Tom Curran.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It
What
might
a
be him.
trip.
It might be
So
him.
they just, you lost connection somehow. They see that you're here back in America.
Yeah, how did
Michael.
Like 10 years later, they see you.
I would surf like twice a month, leaving the desert.
Yeah.
And one of the days I went up to Ventura, I think.
And that's where he lives. Hoagie. I think he lives up north.
He lives in the desert now.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
But
He saw it.
Michael saw that I was posting that I was surfing and stuff, and I was in California. He was like, "All right, let's set up a meeting." And I had bought my tickets to go to Brazil to do one contest, the last contest of the
Series.
series, the period to qualify for the CS. I was like ranked 14th, and I needed to be ranked under 10 to be able to go. And I was like, I need to do this one last contest, man. But we were talking, trying to like figure
So
it
he
out.
hit you out of the blue. He hit you up.
Mm-hmm.
He saw clips from Ventura.
Yeah,
Or-
yeah, I think so. He saw a story or something, and he hit me up. And I was like, he was like all into me writing for an album and like offering me and stuff, and I was like, oh man, I don't know. And then I told my coach, he's like,
And you had no sponsors.
I
or-
had no sponsors.
Or
yeah.
big sponsors.
I had just a couple of small
Surfing twice a
acai,
month, living in Palm Springs.
living in Palm Springs, catering. that's what I was doing for a while. Cause I got here, I got deported actually. Me and my wife were living in Brazil, back in like she lived there for like 2 years I think, just coming back and forth. But I was there the whole time. And she was like, why don't we go to America, and since you don't have any sponsors and you can make enough money in dollars, because making money is in reais,
Yeah.
Brazilian reais doesn't really match. It's not
Yeah.
a match, because it's $1 is 5 reais, but 5 reais is $1.
Hmm.
So if I want to pay a $150, $200 entry, will be almost 1,000
Yeah.
reais, which is crazy. So it wasn't really doable to like work and do contests worldwide.
And you still want to do contests and be a professional surfer.
Yeah, I wanted to do that. And so we got to America, and my visa, I was waiting for my visa to get home, because they gave me a few temporary visa just for me to get here, and they would send out the visa. But before that, we got married in Brazil, and we translated the papers and all, and we called the CBP, and they said that it was all okay for me to come and stuff with the documentation I had, and apply for my green card here. And when I got here, I got deported. They were like, it was me and Johnny, my wife's name, at the CBP kiosk.
And they don't.
And
Coming
they're
off the plane?
Yeah. She even had a cat. She brought a cat from Brazil that she rescued, and we were living there. She loves cat, and she rescued a cat, and she had a cat with her. And the CBP officer, he was like, "You stay. You can go. We have a couple extra questions for you." So I didn't even get to say goodbye to her or kiss goodbye or anything.
Because you thought it was just going to be a few
'Cause,
questions,
yeah,
and then like
they
you
took-
meet back up.
They took me to the room, and
Did you say you're here to study English?
No. Well, yeah, that was my first time on that second.
I wanna
that
see
I'm
second
not
visa.
saying English. I'm not studying. I'm surfing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not working.
That
I'm
was
not
my-
studying. I'm here to surf.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And you got deported.
I got deported. 'Cause-
Straight back onto a plane back to Brazil.
Yeah, all day in the little room that they have with no phone, no nothing, no connection. Johnny was freaking out because she had a cat. We had a connection flight. She lost the connection flight, and she managed to call them to talk to them and see what was going on. There was one thing that I said wrong.
What was it?
I told them that I was coming here to apply for my visa and stuff, and I shouldn't have told them that.
Your green card.
Yeah.
Yeah, wrong one.
They were like, you need to do that process in Brazil. So go back to Brazil and figure that out.
It's so crazy they just won't let you figure it out here, you know?
Well, we weren't doing anything wrong.
No.
We got married, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
Like, she got her visa right away back in Brazil. She can go back and forth to Brazil whenever she wants. It was easy, like 2 months. It's a blue card in Brazil. Here it's a
Yeah.
green card. But
Yeah, you're just getting a temporary visa until your green card was approved. Like,
no, it was back before even before that. So I went through that whole process. It's like it was like a year at home, just waiting for the interview and everything.
wow.
And then
So wait.
we had to go to Rio twice because the biggest consulate of America in Brazil is in Rio. We had to go to Rio twice, and then
How far is that from your house?
like 6-hour drive or something like that.
Fuck.
Thrown to the ringer.
So you got deported and had to come back, and it took you a year.
a year or so to come back.
Did Johnny come back to Brazil?
After 6 months, 5 months. She
Fuck.
stayed here 5 months with her mom. Because it was all actually almost during that COVID time. I think the second wave is when it all happened. And I was just like, okay. I mean,
I would be fucking snapping.
dude, that's one of the things that everybody tells me
Yeah.
when I tell them that story.
Yeah.
But I was actually like super chill and just like, this is not supposed to happen, you know?
Yeah.
And I look back nowadays and I see my whole life trajectory.
Trajectory.
Okay. And I'm
I
like,
butcher that.
y'all happen the way
It's supposed to happen.
it was supposed
Yeah.
to happen, the way God wanted to happen. I'm super grateful for everything that happened.
Yeah.
At least you're at
Because-
home in your home country. You know, like you could have gotten stuck somewhere else for a year. That
But-
you
yeah.
But
just-
your lady,
But you're-
you know, she's
Yeah,
gotta
but I
be
couldn't see my
freaking
lady,
out
yeah.
because they don't tell her where that you're going back until you're probably on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
when she finds out you're on a plane back to fucking Brazil.
Yeah, they had me in this little room. They fed me like almost dog food. It was like horrible.
Prison.
Yeah, it was pretty much.
Yeah.
And they put me into the plane back home and stuff. But Johnny is crazy on working things out, and she managed to like get the whole plane ticket refunded and stuff.
Yeah.
And she actually managed to do the whole process of applying for the visa herself, because most of the people get a lawyer to do that.
Yeah.
And
I understand your pain, bro, because I am an immigrant from the Philippines.
yeah,
And everywhere, I had a green card, and everywhere I would go to travel, I would have to get a visa and have to go to the Japanese consulate. I'd have to go to the Mexico consulate. Wherever I went, I'd have to get a visa. Such a pain in the ass.
everywhere.
And it
around
costs
here.
money.
And it costs money.
Yeah,
Whole day.
But, you know,
yeah.
it's good to have those rules, but it's such a...
Process.
And once you're, you know, become a citizen and you get your American passport someday, right?
mm-hmm.
It'll be so much easier. But oh my gosh, bro, like
It's.
I got stuck in
it's a crazy process. Oh,
in
stop.
Panama because I didn't have the visa to come back.
Mm-hmm.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
I was there for work,
I,
and
I watched Joe Curran get turned around. It's like from here to South Africa. We get into South Africa, and his passport had like was kind of he put it. It went through the wash in one of his pants, and it was kind of peeling up on the corner. And he goes and try to get in, and they same thing. They freaking take him off. We're like, "Whoa, where are you going?" Like,
Yeah.
no communication. Doesn't show up. Like, what happened? They freaking put him on the next plane all the way home.
so nuts.
Oh,
So
I'm like, that's
a year later, you and your lady come back, and you move to Oceanside or
yeah,
what?
I moved to the desert.
Yeah,
To
it
Palm
works.
Springs. Okay.
Yeah, I stayed in the desert for like 6 months. I got here on December 1st, 2021. Yeah.
And you're like, get me out of this catering business and back on get me back at Lars.
Oh man, I wanted to surf every day, but I couldn't because we didn't have enough money
Yeah.
for me to drive back and forth.
Yeah.
So I just worked.
All you have
worked,
to do is
worked.
wait for Palm Springs Surf Club to open up.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what my mother-in-law always says. You're never gonna be excused anymore for you to visit me because we're actually gonna have waves now.
Yeah.
That's
So
all she
rad.
says. But yeah, I was working with her uncles, catering, which was super nice for me to improve my English too. I thought. That,
And have you ever had a job?
No.
You spoiled brat.
That was well,
You surf.
proper job.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
my first job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked at Full Wax, like doing wax and like packing.
Oh, Full
like,
Wax.
yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, it was right after I got dropped from my sponsors and stuff, and Full Wax was like, "Yeah, come work with us, and we'll support you." And
That's
then I came here and I was catering, doing the catering stuff, and then we went to Ventura. It was like February, couple days after my birthday, and I got that message from Album because Mike does the Instagram stuff, and I got that message from Album. I'm talking back and forth, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. I mean, I really thought about. I really told my friend that I was gonna buy a board for us to ride and share the board, and now you're hitting me up for me to ride for you guys, and I'm like,
Were you following their Instagram and liking stuff and commenting?
Yeah.
So there was dialogue history, like, oh, that board looks awesome, or hey, like.
but then
Something-
Mike saw me and he remembered me from
Yeah.
Surfing with
that
Griffin.
surfing back in 2013.
He's like, this is the same.
Because I was living with the marshals and they would always go to NSSAs and stuff, but I couldn't compete. So I was just surfing on the side and surfing with them before the contest and stuff, but I couldn't compete.
Yeah.
So that's how Hoagie saw me with Mike, and
And you never met Hoagie.
never met Hoagie. Just I talked to him on messages, but I never got to see him yet.
That's so funny.
So you lock in a sponsor before that last Brazil event that you went to, or
Well,
did you get it?
I told him, yes, we did lock the
Yeah.
sponsor before I went to Brazil, but I told him I want to do this last contest because I already signed up, I already got my ticket and stuff. And I was so excited to surf on a board, and it was me and my friend Herbert Moreno. He was here for a little bit. He rides for Lost. Really good surfer too. We grew up together. One of the pictures I showed you was me and him with the school uniform. And we go way back. We grew up together, like surfing every day. He used to live right next door to me, and he was here in America, and I was like, dude, look at this. This guy is calling me, and he's messaging me, talking about me being a free surfer and all that. And then this friend of mine, he already did the free surf. Like, he competed, but all he wanted to do was free surf, and he was already doing it. He was riding. He's still but he rides for Lost and he travels, go places like dreamy spots and stays for a while, just stacking clips and stuff. And he was like, "Dude, what the hell are you doing? Freaking go talk to them, like go ride for them like ASAP."
Yeah.
That opportunity doesn't get offered
Very much.
Especially from them, their team's
Especially
super
from
tight
them.
and
Yeah.
special. You know, it's not like
Yeah, how many riders do they have? Not many, right?
not that I know.
Not that I follow them that closely, but Josh Kerr,
Josh,
Asher
and
Pacey,
Jack, and
Jack,
me, and
yeah.
Mackenzie.
Jack, who?
Freestone.
Freestone, yeah.
Oh, Freestone still rides for him?
Yeah, Freestone rides him. And
What board? What was your first board like? What did you order?
this is another story. Oh my god! It was one of the days that I drove from the desert. I was still living in the desert. I drove from the desert to surf with my friend because he was here. We went to Huntington Beach to surf and stuff. And Mike was like, "Come by the shop. I'll be here like the whole afternoon. Come cruise." And we shot. I think we shot with Joe Foster that morning. And then I was like, we surfed River Jetties, I think, and we went to San Clemente. And I had another friend there that was living there that I asked him to stay at his place. It was late afternoon. I get to the album shop, and first time I opened the door, I'm like,
Yeah, the candy
just
store.
Candy store, literally.
I want everything.
I'll take
No.
that, and that. How many
No.
boards do I get? What does the contract say?
Like heaven music, the
Yeah.
sound. It was literally the feeling I had.
All resin tank killer, like
Oh
yeah,
my
everything.
God. It was crazy.
Every board's like beautiful.
Then we were talking, and he's like, "Yeah, take this board for you to ride tomorrow and stuff." I'm like, it was a twin fin from a customer, I think.
Twin fin?
Yeah, twin fin that was just there. And the customer was actually gonna get the board back and stuff. But I take the board and I'm checking the board. I'm like, dude, there's still light out. We're right by lowers. I'm gonna go surf.
Yeah.
Like, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you tomorrow. But I'm gonna get out there.
Yeah, we
with
can
this
talk
board.
when it's dark. I want to go
Yeah,
dolphin.
exactly. Sick board. Why wait until tomorrow?
Yeah.
So
Straight to lower.
yeah, Trestles is, that walk is long. So I hit up Yufu and I asked him, "Hey, can you drop us off?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm actually getting back from work just now. Like, stop by my house on the other side of the freeway, and I'll pick you up and drop you off, and you can call me when you're done surfing."
Taxi?
Yeah, it was pretty much an Uber driver.
Yeah.
But craziest experience ever. I put the board on the back of the truck. Me and my buddy, we go surfing. I had a blast. That board was just so fun, and it was sick. I was like taking pictures of the board. I was telling my friends, "Dude, look at this board." Like I told my friend Dario, I was like, "Look at this first board I got to ride and stuff."
We still do that, and
Yeah.
been surfing 40
Yeah,
years.
yeah,
I'm
of
still
course.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
Newport,
yeah.
feel this thing.
And it's something that you told your friend or
You're gonna save
That
money.
friend
and buy it.
Dario,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that friend Dario, that I was gonna save money and buy a board
yeah.
to take back home for us to surf. So I take the board and surf. It was bad lowers, no one out, but I had a blast. The board was so fun. We had a good time, and it was only me and my friend Herbert. Then we walk up the trail. I call Yufu and ask him, "Hey, can you really take us back to my car?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll pick you up." He camps, stops. We put the boards on the back of the truck again. You can see where this is going, right? We put the board on the back of the truck. He drives around and stuff. And he lives on the first exit after lowers right there. And he literally got in the freeway, went super fast, got off. We looked back because we heard a noise. It was only my friend's board hanging like literally going like this, almost falling to,
And that one was gone.
and the album board was gone.
Holy shit.
I'm
What the-
freaking out. I'm like, dude, no, the album board.
How
It's
the-
the first board ever. No, it's not even mine.
Not even yours, you just borrowed it. The guy
It's a
surfed and it
freaking
flew out.
$1,000 something board, and
It flew out of the truck.
and it flew out of the truck, bro.
Holy-
It was like, I didn't know if I wanted to laugh or cry at the same time. I was just like, no.
There's no way that just happened.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no.
Did you
this
guys
is-
go look for it? And
We did. We couldn't find the freaking board.
just
I think the board flew out of the car, and somebody saw it and stopped and picked it up right
Yeah,
away. Because
right
no way. Because we went back and we didn't see it. It was we were walking on the side of the freeway, big rigs were driving by and honking and shit. Or it's illegal to walk on the side of the
Yeah.
freeway. I was like, I have to.
Yeah.
This is not my board.
yeah.
Even if it is broken, I mean.
even if it got ran over,
Yeah.
it would have been you would have found
Oh.
pieces.
Yeah, we did
Talk
it.
about
sure
shocker.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a shocker.
So what was the
Dude.
conversation back when you got the album?
I told him right away, and he was like, "No, that wasn't our board, and it had the boss's fin." That's what Mike told me. I was like, "No, man, I can pay for the board, and I'll get another fin for Matt, which is a shaper, right?"
Matt Parker.
Yeah, Matt Parker, and I was just like, "No, this is not happening."
Not a good way to start the relationship, huh?
This is not happening. This is not happening.
You just got on.
Yeah, it was right
And you-
before my Brazil trip for my last contest, and I just wanted to ride a board. Like I was super excited to ride one of their boards, and they let me borrow a board, and I let the board fly away from the car,
Yeah.
which is like
And that's
it's
rarely.
crazy.
I mean, it happens, but it's like
It
it's
happens
not-
more than we think.
Yeah.
It happens a
You
lot. Yeah. I actually went to bed and woke up like super early next day and did the same walk. I went and walked on the side of the freeway. I
Went down that side.
I found like two boards, one long board and this other broken up,
Yeah.
like shitty,
Something that got ran over and tossed.
Yeah, it was there for a while, but I didn't see the board. I didn't see the album board. Fuck.
Somebody got lucky. Somebody was unlucky, which was you.
And yeah, if you're hearing this and you have that board, please just at least send us a picture.
Put it on Instagram so we
Well-
can DM you.
Well, it does depend on where it flies out because there is a trail from from Carl's side on that side of the freeway, and then it goes underneath the bridge where it like connects to that road that goes down. Up.
It does, yeah, it does.
So-
I went there too.
Yeah, so if it flew out for sure, somebody
Dude,
would have grabbed it. From
it's
that.
crazy.
Somebody's just walking down a trail on the board.
Yeah,
Hey,
the
thanks.
album board. Brand new album board. It was maybe like the guy rode once or twice and I rode it.
And those are glass, like proper, so it's not like it's gonna get probably
Super
too
deep,
destroyed.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story how I got an album. Oh, it's hilarious. I go back to this story and I tell people, and it's just like
Yeah.
crazy to think that that's how my first surfboard from album.
That's so
Not
awesome.
mine, but the first surfboard I rode
Yeah,
from
yeah.
album.
So you went back to Brazil and you didn't qualify.
I didn't qualify.
Yeah.
Lost first round. The waves were shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything. And yeah, I didn't qualify.
It's kind of like, oh, well, I got this new quiver of like fun
Yeah.
boards. Let's go somewhere really
Well,
good.
yeah.
First,
So
it's
but
in
I
the cruise.
was-
How soon can we get this one?
I really wanted to qualify and just prove myself because
Yeah.
I got knocked down a lot of times and getting dropped from a
Sponsors.
major sponsor, and I was just in a really bad time frame of my life that I was like depressed and stuff. Living in the desert, couldn't really surf. I was feeling like shit, like feeling really bad, and I really wanted to prove myself that I was capable of doing it. you
Yeah,
know?
for sure. It's a dream. Make the
And-
tour.
Yeah, exactly. It was. Actually, my whole life, I always dreamed of being a professional surfer and doing like having surfing as a profession, not like no matter what.
Yep.
And
Whatever it is.
whatever it took to be
contest
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
always dreamed of course, the only source that I had coming from Brazil and just doing competitions was the only way that I would see it. You know, like
That's how they brought the surfers are brought up. you
yeah,
know?
to me, yeah, exactly. And
Because in Brazil, there isn't a lot of free surfing, right?
no, not really. I mean,
Like
all-
who do
all
we
the
know that's a free surfer
free
from
surfer
Brazil?
that puts out clips? I would say Thomas Hermes.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then there are a couple other names that
Yeah.
does it in Brazil that aren't recognized worldwide.
Yeah.
But Bruno Santos, Bruno Santos. I mean, it's really well known. He won the CT at Chopo
Yeah.
a few years back.
Yeah.
But he's a free surfer, and then Iko Ronki, a couple other names, but you don't get to see them much
Yeah.
because they're not sponsored by an American brand, and American brand is putting out clips of them and stuff. But
Yeah.
it's like a Brazilian brand is putting out clips of them and stuff, and they're doing like different stuff than a free surfer in America would do.
Yeah.
You know.
So you get on album. What's their program? Hey, we're gonna pay you. We're gonna get you this many boards. Just go get clips and travel, and
It was all happening like quick and just that was the offer. Just ride for us. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a major sponsor right then. Like quick. So I was writing for them, and we signed up with Banks Journal.
Yeah.
And then I was with Banks Journal for a couple of months because they weren't paying me as much as I needed to like pay for rent and stuff. So we started looking for other brands, and I was very like surprised on how many brands were offering me to ride for them.
wow, that's
Like,
awesome.
It went from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
I was living in the desert, serving food, and trying to make enough money to do the QS.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was writing for an album, trying to just being a free surfer, and brands started seeing me draw clips put out from album and stuff, and there were so many brands that reached out to us trying to sponsor me. And I was
Well, without even knowing.
I don't want to sound
No.
naggy or anything.
No.
I don't want to. That's not me.
No, for
I'm
sure.
just telling you guys how crazy you
The
are.
power of album helped put you in the limelight and made you desirable to sponsor.
Yeah, back in the
But-
into
you
with the world
Yeah.
size, because that happened a little bit too when I was sponsored by Billabong, that I stayed with at the Billabong house and stuff, and people were saying that I was gonna make the CT. It was like promising kid from Brazil that
Yeah.
would, but yeah, like I said, I don't want to sound angry or anything. I just
No, but it's true. Like you know,
tell guys
you
this story.
you got the talent. You got this kind of you're kind of underground here in a way. Yeah, the core of the
Yeah,
industry knows who you are. Like the people that follow surfing pretty in depth. But you start throwing out these clips of you doing what you're doing, which is fucking crazy on these boards that are intriguing because it's not your typical like
High
shortboard,
performance. Yeah.
shortboard high performance like clip. Although you are doing like a lot of high performance airs, but it just is different, and I think it draws a lot of attention.
Well, the way that Album's done a really good job of presenting themselves as an alternative board, right? An alternative company, and the team riders that they have, they're kind of unique, Asher Pacey and freaking Josh Kerr, like they're gnarly surfers,
Freestyle.
but they're different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
No, for
freestyle.
sure.
But it's like, and they have a sophisticated way, right? Of their marketing and surfing and their boards seem really.
They're not getting overshadowed by.
They did
like,
Clearweather brand sandal, bro.
but they're not.
That's what makes them sophisticated, bro.
They're not overshadowed by like a tour athlete. You know, they're not overshadowed by the WSL or content you've already seen on the webcasts and stuff. It's all, you know, really desirable waves and locations, and it's artsy.
Sophisticated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like that. I mean,
It's exactly what every surfer dreams about. And
for
Yeah.
sure.
you know,
Like,
So
just perfect waves, beautiful boards. It's
Yeah.
all we want.
yeah,
You're a surfer. What do you want?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
want to go paddle out with my bros and surf good waves and
So-
exactly.
have a cerveza.
So did Banks come about after album?
After
Okay.
yeah.
But they
'Cause-
weren't paying enough, and
Yeah.
then other people started approaching you at the same time, and
Yeah.
And then-
they all had this almost the same margin of money and stuff. So we chose Caden because it's a
Heritage.
heritage brand, and it really. I mean, I didn't know much about Caden before then, because it's a 100% American brand, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I didn't get to see it in Brazil because they were just in America. They said they were in Brazil back in the days.
yeah,
My coach was actually sponsored by them back then,
How funny.
which is crazy. Yeah, but yeah, Caden is rad. It's just something I was looking at, like being one of the bigger guys from a brand and
Yeah.
having that relationship as a family, like small brand but huge at the same time. But I got to sit and talk to the boss, not the middleman, you know. Like, that was one of my things that I wanted. Just
feel
like,
important, have good relationships, and
just like back then when I was sponsored by Hingloos, I would just drive up
To the owner's
to
house.
São Paulo, just like an hour and a half, and sit on on a table, face to face, and talk to
Yeah.
them.
Who do
know,
you deal with?
Mac and Dolly
Yeah.
and Nick. I forgot his last name, but Nick and
We're friends with Dolly.
yeah, Dolly's
Yeah.
super nice.
He's a fucking
hilarious.
grom.
Yeah, he's a frapper, huh? He's hilarious. I love the way he is. It's so crazy. I drove up a few months later. I drove up and had a surf with him close by his, just by his place. What is it called again?
no,
Not Malibu.
Zeros or
I forgot the name
Zuma?
of it. Zuma, yeah, I surfed
Zuma.
Zuma with him.
Yeah.
Big
And
Doom, Little Doom.
Yeah. It was so fun. And yeah, he was a frapper. The waves didn't even look that good, but we had a great time.
Yeah. And speaking of Caton, like Caton's been around since the 50s,
Exactly.
50s,
54 is
yeah.
when they,
when they first started.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, you better know that.
Yeah, exactly.
we actually have had friends that have ridden for them over the years. Ride Dog Road Form,
Yeah.
when K2 owned it, right?
It was before.
Right before.
Yeah, and then they've gone through a few different like licensees
Yeah.
deals, and it kind
And
of
I think Mac took over it a while ago, and Dolly started working with them. And Caton is one of the brands that has been around for so long, and they've got heritage and that Americana, California lifestyle look. But in the past, 3 or 4 or 5 years, they've blown up.
Yeah.
Like they've done a really good job of, capturing, especially because of COVID.
I'm gonna say because this guy over here. I'm just saying. I don't know.
VB?
DB over
The
here is
DB
kind of putting
factor?
back on the map.
Thank you.
No, but it goes,
No,
with your
thank you.
your surfing album and them, like, I mean, it's just a really good match.
Yeah.
And I think it
That's
works
exactly
really well together
yeah.
to have like those like-minded brands kind of supporting somebody, Because if you had I don't want to say another big name surf that's, more going after a CT surfer or high perform, like there's just different vibes.
And I would just be another guy that would be getting forgotten. You know? And I was part of that for a bit.
Yeah.
It didn't feel that special. I wanted a small brand, like I said, which I would sit down and have a conversation with the owner face to face, and not try to middleman trying to like make business or make money out of me. Like I wanted to connect
Yeah.
with people. That's my main thing. It's been like that my whole life. I like connecting with people and just being able to feel them and, you know, like expressing myself and just showing them how I like Victor as a person, you know, not only like as a surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, being a good human, being a good dude, and ripping, and you know, not, you know, knowing that the contest jerseys. I mean, sure, you're competing, you just won, and it's good to get back into the saddle and do that. But you know, to help your surfing flourish even more and being surfing, you know, better waves and going on that. I mean, it's a
Your
it's awesome
dad's
to
got to
see.
be so psyched and proud. Like, you know,
That is
you're fulfilling your life's work, your dream, right?
for sure. I went and did the contest down in San Diego because it's fun. I get to hang with my friends, but I'm also accomplishing one of my goals in life, which is get a house and be able to buy a house for my family, and that money really helps.
Yeah.
when it goes to Brazil, it's times 5. So
So land at home for sure is first priority,
yeah, I really want to
and then
accomplish that.
you know, you know, you'll be living, I'm sure.
I
Can't say bi-coastal, it'd be bi-country, you know, splitting the rest of your years between America and Brazil, and
I just wanted to spoil the shit out of my family. That's all I wanted to do.
That's awesome.
I want to have I want them to have a house and be able to not worry about their bills, and that's what I do up to this day. I pay all their bills and I pay rent, and now I'm like switching that to buying a house. I will still pay the bills, but the house will be a lot cheaper than paying rent and not owning something.
Yeah. Real estate's the best investment.
Yeah, for sure.
is it still, you know, like feasible? Like, or is it super expensive where you've grown up? Has land and everything gotten really expensive, or is it not too?
It's not too bad.
Not too
I mean,
bad,
if
like-
you put it to US dollars, it turns out it's super cheap. you
Yeah.
know? Like with $100,000, I got a 500,000 reais house,
Yeah.
which is really good, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean nowadays with the opportunity I have of surfing and doing this for a living and, you know, making money, I get to accomplish my goals, and I'm just super happy for that.
Yeah. So, and your lady, you were saying, did she start her own company?
Yeah, she just started her own company because while we were living in Brazil, I would travel to do contests and stuff, and she would stay at home by herself. Not by herself, but with my mom and stuff.
Family.
She wanted to do something, so she started doing.
Working at the bikini factory, right?
She did a course, a whole sewing course, and then after that, she through contacts and stuff, we got her to work at a bikini factory, and then she started making bikinis for people, not for people, just making bikinis in general at that factory, and she learned a lot. And a month ago, I think, is when she launched her
Own brand.
She's starting small with making. Her main thing is make bikinis for women that comes to her and gives her their size.
Custom.
Yeah, custom. Like they can choose how big they want, the pattern, and the style and everything.
She has like a
She'll
few
make-
different templates. Like here's the kind of like
Yeah,
And
like
then you can pick-
personalized. Like you going up to a shaper and asking for a custom board.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Custom bikini.
Custom bikini. I don't know who else does that. I mean,
That's cool.
You go to a shop and you buy $100-something
Yeah.
bikini, but it's
And tell the name again.
Sohia. Sohia is the name.
Sohia.
It means smile in Portuguese.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's so rad.
That's
it
so
has a
rad.
whole story behind it because she learned in Brazil and she everything she knows about bikinis from Brazil, so she wanted to name it a Brazilian name. And
You guys are killing two birds with one stone here.
Hey, those Brazilian bikinis are pretty tiny.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think there's a lot of.
I mean, it could be tiny, it could be big. It depends on on how the custom wants it, you know.
How's your wife's Portuguese? Like living there a couple years and back. She's
So when we started dating, she took a couple of classes here in America.
yeah.
Just learn the basics, and then talking to my family got her to improve a lot.
Yeah.
And nowadays I can have a whole conversation with her, and
That's cool.
she understands everything. She doesn't know a couple words, but she goes back to English, and I explain it to her and tell her. But she learned, like, from being in Brazil and talking to my mom and my family, you know.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That seems to be
And,
the best
and
way.
going to the sewing lessons.
Being infused in the you
Yeah.
know.
And working at the factory.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's so rad.
Exactly.
That's the Brazilian American dream right there.
Yeah. There are some terms of sewing and stuff that she only knows in Portuguese. It's
That's so funny. So, have you surfed wave pools yet?
I did, yeah. My first time was surfing the wave garden in Brazil.
That thing looks sick.
Yeah,
That's close to your home?
It was actually Texas. Me
Oh.
and my friends booked like a couple hours in Texas at a flight connection to a contest or right before the
East
US
Coast?
Open.
Yes.
Yeah, we were here 2018, I think, for the US Open, and we booked a trip for the Texas Wave, and we surfed it for the first time. And then after that, Wave Garden opened one in São Paulo, and they invited me to go surf it. And then
That one looks nuts.
it's so fun. And then they invited me also to try out the waves in South Korea, because they were tweaking the wave and making the air section. They wanted me to go to South Korea and Australia to try out the wave and stuff.
Wow, look at this guy.
It was so fun.
Professional wave trier.
It was
What happens when you rip? There's people that the red carpet rolls out.
It was sick, yeah. Wave Garden has an amazing team, and yeah, that was super fun to get to experience that. And I took one of my friends, filmmaker, that I actually met him on one of my drives from the desert to surf, because I was like looking at the forecast and I was like, where am I gonna surf? You know, like I only have 1, maybe 2 days if I get to spend a night at a friend's house to surf and go back to the desert to work. So I went to Rincon this one time, and this guy said hi to me, and there was actually another guy that I knew next to him, and we spoke, and we got to meet each other.
I'll travel with you and film you.
Yeah, exactly. So he got a couple clips of me or picture or frames.
How good is Rincon?
Rincon is so fun.
So good.
Such a good wave. Yeah, I take that back. That Lowers is the only wave in California.
Yeah.
There are a lot of waves actually.
Yeah.
Rincon is one of them. Blacks is another one of them.
Yeah.
C Street, there are so many waves. But yeah, Ian Groves is the guy that shoots mostly of my clips on Instagram, and we got to meet even before I wrote for album. So when I got to write for album and stuff, and we're putting on a trip together down south to Baja California, the guy Michael from album, they were like, yeah, like what filmmaker should we bring? This guy's busy, and stuff.
Like,
I was like, I have this guy that I met in Rincon.
and they knew him already.
No,
No?
they didn't, no. And I was like, yeah, Ian, his name is Ian, he feels really well, and yeah, let's do it. So he went on that trip for the first time, and we had a blast, and he got great footage and stuff, and now he's shooting me like most of my trips. I actually took him to Korea and Australia, and since we're in Australia, I took him to, we went to Indonesia too, and we got some great clips.
That's awesome. So, what's your goals now? Just making clips and making an edit, or?
My goal is just to be the happiest man alive, which I am. Dude, I don't know. I'm having a blast trying out these boards. Matt always comes up with the craziest ideas, and he ships me the most amazing boards I ever had, and I'm having just greatest time of my life. Just getting to experience this connection of traveling and getting clips and putting out a part or something. I just got invited to be part of one of the movies that I watched my whole childhood, and to me that's like a huge accomplishment and huge like personal accomplishment, you know, like
Yeah, milestone.
it's just mind-blowing that I got invited to be part of one of the movies that I watched the most in my childhood.
Snap.
Yeah.
Nice.
Chucky.
Yeah, I watched Snap 2 my whole life. Like, grew up, got that movie in a magazine, and I don't even...
You know we had him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you have
Chucky.
Do you have a board model that is coin, like VV Victor, or
Yeah,
or
Matt.
do you just write a lot of different ones?
Yeah, I write the whole
Assortment.
the
Collection.
whole collection of boards that Matt has, but there are a couple of special ones that like this one called Bon Dia. It was supposed to be the goat's board that he was gonna try it at a stab in the dark or electric acid.
Yeah,
But
those
he
are
never got
great.
to do it. He never got
You'd
to
be a
do
good candidate for that.
it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, Stab in the Dark?
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Um,
But fuck all that. You're on Snap, bro. Snap 5?
Six,
Snap 5.
5. Yeah, 5. Huh?
5. Snap 5, yeah.
It's not 5. It's just mind blowing. But yeah, this Bon Dia board was supposed to be written by Cali, and he never got to do the electric acid test.
Yeah.
It was right when I got to Albo, and Matt was like, "Try out this board. It's an asymmetrical board, quad." Before that, I only written the asymmetrical boards that he shaped me. I never got to write an asymmetrical board before that. And yeah, my first trip ever with a couple boards from album was to Mexico, and he shaped me a Twinsman and
Have you seen that YouTube clip of it? Fuck.
Redonkulous?
we actually don't have the clips from that trip.
Well, you're on an ASIM down there. It might have been previous trips,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, dude, talking
insane.
about, and you're
Insane.
talking about incredible surfing.
Thank you.
Like, it's fucking heavy.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
a big compliment from Late
Yeah.
Night over here.
Yeah.
Huh? Late Night over
It
here.
I
is.
know,
Like,
I know.
I'm like, strong, powerful, and freaking laying it down.
Thank you.
I'm going to watch it later today.
Thank you.
For sure.
Sick. So these clips are actually with the pedal electric guys because we was a trip with them, and we still haven't seen these clips.
Wow.
From
Keep it
my
on the
first-
wrap.
My first trip with the album boards.
Well, you have to not let out your best clips, right? You have to stash them away for Snap.
Oh, now from Snap. I just found out about that like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, dude, congrats.
And I was in Indonesia actually trying to score some waves. I got to go to Desert Point, which was my first time surfing, and it was really fun. And I went to Lakey Peak, chilled with Usher Pacey, but the waves weren't that good. And Lakey
Oh, that wave is so good too.
yeah, it's so fun.
High tide,
Periscope.
right? Low tide, freaking left.
Yeah.
We're going to have to interview Chucky again
Yeah, of
for
course.
Snap 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he even
Find out the whole
because he had
list yet?
Yeah, he
You heard it here first, folks.
yeah.
Exclusive.
Yeah, he
Okay, I gotta
he
ask.
might get
for-
mad at me, but
Yeah.
I'm just
He'll be
proud to be part of this.
I gotta ask. Coming from Brazil, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do you guys grow up like is it as popular as surfing, or do you guys? It's kind of curious because that's a question people are always in. How he's from Brazil? I you must know like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Do you guys train?
I
Is it
always stay away from it.
Yeah.
Just to how do you say not prevent just to prevent injuries.
Yeah.
So I had like the best. Buchecha is like he's like
Trainer?
12 or 13 times world champion,
Oh, shit.
and he always wanted to get me to learn from him and this other guy, Shinzato, which is crazy too. He's like in Singapore teaching, we were really good friends, and he would train me, just workout train, and he always wanted to teach me jiu-jitsu, but I always pushed
Surfing.
it away,
Yeah.
kept it
Surfing.
away because surfing was my main priority, and I did not want to
Get
dislocate my shoulder or like.
Which
It
happens.
gets- it happens a lot. If you talk to people that train, they'll not. I don't think a single one of them would say that they never got injured
Yeah.
doing training jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's great cross training, great to have the flexibility and the core strength and stuff. But yeah. I mean,
It fucks you
we grew
up.
up. We grew up skateboarding like pretty heavily, and like I'm like as soon as I
Yeah,
get a
that's
point, I'm
another
like
sport.
I'm not skateboarding anymore. Like,
Yeah, that's another
not
sport.
really. Yeah, A to B, not off the ramps. And
Exactly. I skated a lot growing up too. That's
Yeah.
how I improved my airs and stuff. But
And here we got snowboarding too, and that's like another super dangerous sport.
exactly, super easy to get hurt. And yeah, I just try to stay away from it, just so I would, prevent getting majorly injured and
Yeah.
not being able to go to a contest stop or something like that.
Yeah. You can tweak yourself doing that. But
Yeah, I was skating on my friend's front yard or walk path, and I broke my arm. My arm, instead of bending this way, went the other way, and my friends all around me were like, it just looks like a zombie or something. It was crazy. It was crazy. They all ran away, and I'm like leaning against the wall, like about to pass out because my arm looked so bad. And I pop my arm back, and I just go home, knock on the door. Mom, I broke my arm. She's like, no. Like, she was so pissed at me.
Oh.
And
that's when I put the skateboard away.
that's when I put this because I didn't go to like a couple of contests because of that.
Yeah.
Like ground search and a couple other ones because I was super young. But yeah, I put away the skateboard part.
Well, shit.
Dude.
This has been amazing.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Congrats.
It's a long story.
No,
but-
No, we
this
love
is-
it. That's why we like sitting down with people.
Hear their
like,
stories.
Yeah.
Like, there's no shortcut to like getting good content out.
Is there-
I'm like,
Yeah.
Is there any other announcements or things you want to promote?
I think it was pretty much everything. I'm just living my best life, having a great time, and just enjoying being
Yeah.
writing for album, Caden, all the sponsors that support me. Just signed up with Clear Weather. Didn't even announce yet, but
Yeah.
it's out there, and I'm super happy to represent these people that believe in my talent and what I do for a living. And
well, he's
I'm
got
just
like
super thankful.
80-something thousand followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Let's get that over to 100. And it's Victor Bernardo with a 0 at the end. What is it? Huh?
Yeah. VB.
VB. Well,
Thank
shoot,
you.
thank you for sitting down with us, and congratulations on album, Snap, 5, Clear Weather brand,
Caden.
the future, Caton, the future, Pedal Electric,
June Shine, Pharaoh Wax.
and now you're on
the-
freaking Late Night with Chalky.
Yeah, we got you a hat. You can take,
Pick your color.
I'm actually
You're fond of green?
just had a meeting this morning, signing up with Moonglade too, and
Moonglaze?
Moonglade.
What's that?
They have superfoods like powders and stuff
Oh.
that are
Dude.
good for you. So
Did Red Bull
just
call too?
Signed up with Late Night with Chucky too.
Ew.
Got some hats.
Moonglade.
Thank you, Moonglade. Yeah.
Congrats.
They're rad. Alex Smith and his brother represent them.
Alex and Koa Smith.
Yeah,
Nice.
they put out some crazy content and just beautiful and dreamy stuff. So
Yeah.
stoked to be part of that too.
Congrats.
Well,
Well, we have a couple things for you.
yeah, where's the.
I don't know if you're
sponsor?
sponsored, but you have a sunscreen sponsor?
No.
Little
There you
shade sunscreen from
Shit.
Strider Wazalewski.
go.
Yeah.
Thank
Shade.
And
Got some bonsai bowl.
you. Never had this one.
It's good. Nice stick. It's like colored tint.
Bonsai bowls.
Bonsai bowls. I mean, I come from Brazil, man. You know.
That's part of the daily.
I'll go try this out. and-
Yeah, there's one in San Clemente,
Sick,
Laguna,
and one in Laguna,
Newport, Huntington.
and here in Huntington.
sick.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
Sorry to
Thank
break it
Earth
up.
Pack.
yeah, we gotta thank our
All your
sponsors real quick.
packaging and dad needs, stickers. I think they do everything, right?
Yep. Clear Weather brand,
Yeah.
best footwear around. Shoots.
Shoots. beer.
Ashland Hard Seltzer,
Gonna have
Villager
that beer, yeah.
I
Spirits.
know we didn't even drink. What's going
I
on?
know. It's a Monday.
It's Monday.
Gotta take the week off. Caballero Pools and Spas.
Yep. Neon Wave.
Neon Wave, and again,
Foo Wax.
when you go to this is neonwave.com, and if you buy $50 or more, they give you a free Late Night with Chalky hat.
Sick.
And
Put late night in the promo code
Promo
checkout.
Yep.
So
But dude,
What number is this podcast?
232 maybe?
Damn.
maybe more. I don't
Maybe
know.
more. I don't know. Hold on.
That's crazy.
We gotta figure it out
This
here.
guy-
Now that you say it, we gotta see what this historical episode is going to be.
This guy.
Well,
We lost count.
While he's searching for it, I just want to say thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure, man.
This is
Congrats.
This is
Dude.
awesome. I don't do much podcasts, but
Have you
heard
done one
guys-
before?
I've done a couple in Brazil, but never. Oh no, I did Surf Splendor. I did one of them.
Oh,
with
sick.
him, yeah. But
Okay.
this is the second podcast in English that I do, and I'm sorry for a couple words that I
No,
No,
you killed
dude.
it.
I
You probably just-
pronounce and stuff.
I probably butchered more words than you did.
Yeah, he probably did. So Carlson's is 237. The
2:30.
next one's 238. Yours will be 239.
Nice, sick.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I like it. Awesome.
Dude.
Well, my story
Thanks.
was long, and
That's awesome.
I hope it inspires some people. But I just don't force anything. Just let it go, and the way God wants your whole life to be, you will be, and just keep putting good energy out there, and just really almost getting emotional here, but yeah.
That's
Just
beautiful.
Be a good person and enjoy the ride, because life is short and there is no time for you to be in bad mood or a bad person out there. Just be a good person.
Yeah.
Well, and with that, thank you,
Peace.
boys. That was awesome.
Sick, thank you.
Thank you.